Good Monday morning, everybody. John and Lance along with Del for the next 3 hours here on ESPN 97.5. And boy, do we got a lot to talk about. We start with our Houston Rockets as they finally won a game last night, played the way that they were supposed to, with KD on the bench. Anybody notice? Did you notice anything about KD on the bench last night, Lance? Did you happen?
Didn't notice? Oh, he was super friendly.
He was.
I noticed that. Like, he was talking to all the guys and smiling and laughing. And
yeah, his eyes seemed like they were closed a little bit.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, I just noticed that he was, like, showing how he and his guy, man, they were all buds. Like, I love these guys.
Yeah.
These are my guys, man. It kills me that I wasn't even on the bench for Game 3 because I was getting around-the-clock treatment is what they were saying.
Treatment.
Maybe
Bell
it's
is
true.
yelling treatment in there.
So, look, maybe all that is true. Maybe he was getting around-the-clock treatment. But the fact that I think it's a possibility that Kevin Durant is just pumping up an injury, a second injury, because he's mad that Jabari Smith said something like he needs to do a better job of working out of double teams. The fact that I believe that there's a chance he has that kind of petty in him it's not.
No,
good.
That's not the case.
I'm not guarantee you I'm not the only one who thought that.
I know. Well, trust me. When after Jabari said it, I said, "Uh-oh, KD's gonna be mad at you. Oh, here comes the burner account." I
know. But we all thought that. And so there's no part of you that thought.
There's no way that's the case.
Is there any part of you that ever thought there was a chance that Durant's not as hurt as much as he's saying?
No.
At any point this playoffs?
No. I thought.
So you think he's full on injured?
I did think that maybe that's why he wasn't on the bench, but there's no way that he's not playing or he's not as hurt that he could play. There's no way.
So on the bench, for sure, I thought that. Yes.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be able to think that about one of the players.
Right.
That should not even be a factor that somebody said something about being better against double teams, and so you say, I'm not sitting on the bench. I'm going to show you. That dude is a 37-year-old grown man, and this whole trade sucks now. This is what I said the whole time. I was fine in the regular season, but my entire point is that if you make this trade, he has to stay healthy, or it's a nonsense, or you've thrown away everything, and that he has to help you win in the playoffs. And he's not even healthy for the playoffs. And I bet he doesn't play in the next one. Did you see the comments yesterday about, that this is a 2 to 3 week injury?
No. Well, we've got Ime talking about it.
Yeah, the report from Shams is that normally this is 2-3 weeks, so he would be nowhere near ready to play. But around-the-clock treatment because it's the playoffs.
It's around the clock. You can't, if you're sitting on the bench, you can't be getting treatment.
Well, that's the thing. It's around the clock, but not during Game 4?
Right. Apparently, they stopped.
I guess he got enough of it before.
You ever watch chess where you make a move and you hit the clock real fast and it stops?
Yeah.
And then, that's all he did was he hit the chess clock real fast, and so time stopped for him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if time stopped. Well, it seemed like it might have stopped for him the way his eyes looked, but apparently he was well enough, or the treatment stopped for, that 3 hours. It stopped for 3 hours. So, but he's not going to be able to play anyway in Game 5 because here is Ime. Oh, okay. We do have Ime talking about the injury.
Yeah, supposedly.
No. Really, we do have Ime talking about. He's his coach, and he knows. Well, listen, we got Dave. How do you say it? McMenamin?
Dave McMenamin.
McMenamin. I got sound from him talking about this.
Yeah, we've got some things today.
But we also have Amen talking about KD. When asked about it, he said, I don't know. I don't know how he is, if you want to know the truth. I just don't know. So that was it was like, what? How do you not know about your teammate and your best player and whether or not he's going to be able to play and how his treatment's going? I would think if listen.
You think they're on a big text string where they all chat together?
If they were,
hey, what's up, big bro?
If this was girls, they would be like, girl, how you been? How's it going?
Yeah. Or if they were dudes, they would just say, what's up, big bro? How we feeling?
How we feeling?
Man, we got to get you back out there. Oh, Like, no one knows because no one texts him because he's not friends with anybody.
Well,
he's an independent contractor. That dude, if he had a wedding, the only people there would be people he never played with.
Wait, you don't think any of his teammates would come to his wedding?
No.
Oh, I think some teammates would.
Oh, yeah. The Suns loved him.
I mean, Ime loves him. Ime does love him. Here is Ime talking about KD after the game.
I'm just looking at the time frame of that specific injury and what it takes, but we didn't know how bad it was initially, like you said, and then we got that prognosis, but he's doing what he can to get swelling out, mobility back, and just like the knee, we weren't sure when he was going to come back, but he snapped back pretty quickly to be available for game 2, so it's a true game-to-game, day-to-day thing.
That's terrible sound. Terrible. I mean, how is it that they don't have better sound than that?
Well, generally, where we're grabbing stuff from is people,
Yeah.
media
Recording
members.
off their
Recording
phone,
from their
yeah.
own, phone.
Well, why?
Probably.
Why would you do that when you're in a press conference? Just
Well, because it's
record
video.
off the mic.
It's video. It's more the video.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
That's terrible.
They're not getting
So
it,
anyway, he said he was about 50%, and he was moving at about 50%, and there's no way he could play at 50%. So, and this looks like an injury that is going to take time. So the chance of him coming back are slim to none.
I mean, what a waste. And if you get beat the next game out, it should be 2-2. Okay, because there's a lot to talk about. The Game 3 disaster deserves its own segment.
Yeah. Well, it deserves its own show.
Yeah, I mean, what an absolute disgrace. But we will give it its time. Let's do it next segment. But right now, you should be 2-2. But this entire trade was made to get you over the hump. And if the dude can't even play in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and now you're about to give him a bunch of money, and you don't even know if he gets along with his teammates or if his teammates even like him. Like they're clearly not. They're clearly not tight. I mean, they're clearly not tight.
Yeah. So
there's a big age difference, but he's got to have a big age difference on every roster. But they're clearly not tight. Yesterday looked like old school Rockets. Well, old school. It's not old school Rockets. It looked like the young core, that we had seen. Doing some dumb stuff. We're used to some dumb basketball. That's just part of the equation. But, man, the Terror Twins were in full effect.
Mm-mm.
And Alpy was attacking. I'll say this about Alpy. I'm in the middle of watching that game, and every time he's going down, and, I mean, he is banging. They've got the slow motion where he's firing elbows and forearms, and he's doing everything he can. And it kind of dawned on me. I said, you know what? This dude's busting his ass. Like, he doesn't want to go home. He's giving everything he's got. Alpy does some stuff that makes me frustrated and mad, makes you frustrated, makes all of us frustrated and mad. But he's not a quitter, and he's also not somebody who shies away from moments. Like, he tries. He wants to make plays in big moments. And so, you have to be excited about the mentality that, hey, I'm not on my watch, and that's how Alpy attacked the game. And I'm not always going to be happy with every possession, John. I mean, I'm not.
Well, listen,
but
he has been a mess in this series.
Uh-huh.
Yet, before the game, he gave them a motivational speech, and Amen credited him. You know what? That it was that pregame speech that motivated the guys, and you don't
that's
have
leadership.
Well, that's right. You don't even have to be or playing great, be the best player.
They just have to respect
they all had Jabari's back. Jabari pretty much lost game 3 because of that pass. It was so stupid. Just dribble the ball. What are you doing?
Don't forget Jay Sean, dumb Jay Sean.
Well, Jay Sean had his part, but it was because they had the ball, because Jabari, with 30 seconds left, is throwing the ball into a crowd as opposed to just dribbling it up. And he's a good free throw shooter. Let them foul you, Jabari.
Right.
Let them foul you.
Right.
That would have been fun.
Amen played his role too.
Amen played his role.
Go back and get the
Reed
freaking
played
ball,
his role. They all did.
Yeah,
they all played their
Sengun,
role, but they had each other's
off the
backs.
side of the backboard.
Alpy and the play call, and then everybody had everybody's back except the coach didn't have any accountability.
No. He was like, "Well, some of the dumbest basketball I've seen in my life."
Yeah.
This isn't what he said, but he might as well have said this. These guys are low key playing. And I can't even do anything with this. This is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Saw how terrible they were. These guys are some terrible ass basketball players with terrible. They're stupid. They're mad dumb. This is basically what Ime was saying.
Yep.
He didn't say these exact words, but it didn't take much to read that.
But then
none of it, he didn't say anything like, I don't know. I'm just so tired of him not even giving a cursory. No. I got to do a better job at put these guys in the right
even
spot.
if he doesn't mean it.
Even if he doesn't mean it.
Even if he doesn't mean it.
Because we think they're the ones who screwed up Ime. That's fine. But every once in a while, man, can you shield your guys every once in a while? My buddy Rodney Williams, who's an NFL agent, and Rod and I are real close, and he played college ball, and I've always, he has great insight into basketball. One of the things he told me yesterday, we talked about the Rockets, and he said, it's hard when you have a coach like Ime with young guys, and I think initially he was good for the young guys because there was they're coming off the KPJ and Jalen and vibes and all that stuff where everyone just ran over the coach. And I think he was really good for getting the room straightened up. I really do. But he said at some point, he goes, right now, the yelling and screaming and the negativity, he made a point that, look at Reed Shepherd. He's got to fight through all that because he knows, he's just – and he said, to his credit, he will keep shooting. But you got Tari Eason, who kind of just had a whole month where he fell apart. His point was, and he said, I love Ime. I'm a big Ime fan, but this probably isn't the right kind of personality for the team anymore because it's just too negative. Everything's too negative with Ime now. And there might be something to that because I was so excited about Ime Udoka, but man, the way that he just wears into his players after games and never shields them at all, they're not gonna rally around him. They're not gonna buy into him. If you're the dad if it's only the stick and never the carrot, eventually you wear thin real quick.
Yeah,
and that's what he is, man. He's just, at least to my eyes. Yeah. Maybe it's not like that behind the scenes, but it just seems like you're just going to catch the belt. That's all you're going to get is belt to ass, and there's not a lot of loving him up. When sometimes in the hardest moments, I wonder how he reacted with Jabari, because this is more than the series is probably over, but in that moment you get pissed off, but you go in and in the locker room at some point you have to say, hey. Because this is more than just right now. This is next year. This is the year after. You got a long-term extension. At some point, you got to go in there and you say, hey, man, listen, we lost and you had a rough play, but this is not going to define you. You're a much better player. At some point, you got to, be a dad. You got to know when to pick them up. And
we don't know what he did. We don't know.
We know one thing he did. He made them watch their debacle right after the game.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, but it was incredibly stupid. It was incredibly stupid basketball.
It was.
But anyway, Alpy, who hasn't played well, gave the speech before the game last night, and here's Amen giving him credit. And then we'll hear from Alpy talking about giving the speech because he did have something funny to say. And here is Amen first.
A do-or-die situation. Not only did you guys do it, but you did it with an exclamation point. What did it take to get a win like this in an elimination game?
We were all ready. Alpy gave us a motivational speech this morning, and we took that and we ran with it. And we got to go do that next game in LA.
Absolutely, I love that. A good pregame talk. But 24 Lakers turnovers overall this game. What does it say about this group, the defensive effort? How was this game won on that end of the floor?
I mean, you saw Tari, you saw J.O., you saw Reed, diving on the ball. They were great, just forcing turnovers, and we capitalized off that.
And thanks so much. Good luck in LA.
Yeah, LeBron is catching it a little bit today. He's been crap the last two games.
And guess what? He's catching it from himself. He just jumped out and said, it's on me. That game was on me.
He was terrible. He was awful.
It's weird to hear somebody say that they're part of a loss.
Right,
That's weird.
Well, here's Alpy now. Alpy, after the game, Alpy told about the speech that he had given. Apparently, it was motivating for him because the guys. Amen talked about it, right? And Alpy even mentioned, I gave. Now it ain't easy. If I was on the Mexican soccer team, it would not be easy for me to give a pregame speech because it's not first
Spanish
language.
Isn't as fluid either, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's good. It's good. I can speak it, but Alpy makes some mistakes. Alpy makes a few mistakes English-wise. And you know what? And so it's not nearly as easy. If he was going to give it in Turkish, is that the language? Is it called Turkish?
What did he say? Because you're really setting this up. I'm like, it sounds like why is John attacking? He must have said something really crazy.
Well, no, he didn't say something crazy.
No, what he was, as it being a second language, sometimes he's unsure, so he wanted to make sure, hey, did I get words right? And his teammates acknowledged that, he's working on things and he's getting better.
He's getting better.
So here's Alpy on the exchange, and he mentions asking about did he get all the words right.
When you first got into the league, you were still learning English, and you had a translator for the first couple of years. When you think about like that to now, obviously it's been a work in progress. Feeling comfortable enough to lead your teammates, before the game and give them a speech. What comes to mind for you?
To be honest, today I was like, I don't talk that much. Like I talk in the game, but like I talk to individual, whatever. But like today, I had a good talk, I think, and after the talk. Our man was telling me that she really motivated me, and then I was like, my English was good, and then he said, you messed up 1 point. Well, I don't care. So, he said, I don't care. I still understand you. So I was happy, they understand me, and it's hard, man. It's hard to talk to another language, but I try. I try every day. I don't give a. What I'm saying. End of the day, they understand me, and I'm happy with that.
There it is. There's Alpy.
I have a lot of respect for him, man.
Yeah.
I really have a lot of respect for the way he stepped up in the midst of this, and it's just so counter to what we see from Durant. It's just I have a lot of respect for him, man. I really do. I don't love when he gets in the paint and starts pump faking because I know that possession's a wrap.
I don't like when he dribbles up to his head. And when he's backing it down, and he's dribbling like, head high.
There's some things I don't love.
No, that's not good.
But whatever. That's okay.
All right, we got a break. 717 ESPN 97.5 713-780-3776. Your thoughts on the Rockets? We got Lance is going to break down the Texans' entire draft, and we got a lot of draft questions for him throughout the morning. So big morning. If you have a team and you want to talk about their draft, Lance can do that as well.
Get it in because I have to leave a little early because I got to get my rental car back and try to make this flight because I have been in L.A. for a long freaking time.
Time to go. Time to get out of there.
Yeah,
I've been there longer, bro. I don't want to hear it.
I got to get out of this 71-degree weather.
I know, it's awful.
It's 71 and no humidity.
It was great
terrible.
Here, and we got what did you learn this weekend in one sentence in a half hour from now. But right now we're talking about we've been talking about basketball. Your kids are watching the basketball and maybe they're very upset with the Rockets. Maybe they know that they could have done a better job at the end of Game 3. Maybe they know a little bit more about basketball because you got the best basketball goal in the world, and the best basketball goal in the world is the pro dunk goal. If you don't have the pro dunk goal, then your kids probably aren't even outside playing because they can't shoot it to a 10-foot goal. It's bent. It's terrible. There's no net. It's awful. Your goal is awful, and they're not going to play on it. They're going to play on a pro dunk goal because you can raise and lower the goal. They actually can reach it, especially the little kids. The little kids, and this will be around forever, by the way. That goal will be there for them forever. If you're going to be in this house and those kids are going to be wanting to play basketball, they will be outside. Even when they're bigger, they're going to lower the goal so that they can dunk because your kids are not that athletic. Sorry to tell you this, but here's the deal. They're going to love the pro dunk goal, and they will be outside playing, which is the most important thing, right? If you're going to buy a goal, you want the kids to play on it, and the pro dunk goal is the one that all the kids love. Raise and lower it with a push of a button. The best goal you could possibly get. Produnk.com. Tell Keith Tate you heard it right here. Produnk.com.
John and Lance.
On ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right, welcome back. Here we go. What do you guys want to talk about? We got the draft. We got the Rockets. We got the Astros kicking the Yankees' ass yesterday. We got it all. What exactly is it you want to talk about? You guys will get in right away. Stafford wants to get in first here this morning, so let's get him in. And if you got anything you want to talk about, you're more than welcome. Hey, Stafford, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, man. Shout out to Spencer Arrighetti. I love the show he put on yesterday, given what we've seen. The Texans, I love the draft. Casario had a plan. He stuck to the plan. We want to run the football. But I'm calling about the Rockets, man. Lance made a point this morning where he was talking about how Udoka's personality just may not be right for the team. Now, I think we all kind of agree the series is probably over. If it ain't over and we win the LeBron and the GOAT talk, we should just never have that again. But that's beside the point. The Rockets have Brooklyn's pick at the end of next season, Phoenix pick at the end of next season, and I think they're both unprotected, which we're still kind of a young team. And personally, I would love to trade Kevin Durant because I feel like he quit on the team. But, but basically what I'm saying is, can we have Udoka with, bringing in 2 more young players at the end of next season, Or do they plan on packaging those to trade them, which I hope we don't, because trading for big players, it does not work in the NBA anymore. It does not work. If you look at the teams that are winning the championship, they're winning the championships with their own guys. I mean, yeah, Shea started in the Clippers, but Shea was like 19 years old when he went to the Oklahoma. So I'm done rambling. But can we move forward? I don't think we can move forward with him because I feel like we're still a young team. We could end up with the number 1 pick at the end of next season.
Is Kevin Durant going to be here next year? The answer is yes.
I think yes, but
yes. The answer he will be here next year.
Is it going to be smooth? I just tend to doubt it. He doesn't. He obviously Look, everyone knows that burner stuff was or the leaked text messages were real. We all operate now. I used to not. I don't know anyone who doesn't operate off it's real. Kevin Durant never even denied it. It's real. The teammates are always going to know. If you had somebody, let me just put it this way. There's no way that's not going to hurt some feelings. There's no way that's just going to be forgotten. It's just not. Maybe forgiven. It's not going to be forgotten. I don't think he thinks they're dumb basketball. I think he thinks a lot of them are dumb basketball players. He said so in those alleged texts. That's not going away. They're not going to forget he said that. He's clearly not tight with them. You never hear about. They've never said they do anything with him. They don't even know where he was. There's not even a text exchange or "What's up, big bro? How you doing? How you feeling? Oh, I'm just getting this treatment." None of that stuff's even happening. Kevin Durant is a mercenary. He's been a mercenary for quite some time. He's an independent contractor, very good at scoring. But James Harden was very good at scoring too. And James Harden's letting you down in the playoffs. And Kevin Durant, Rockets almost got swept. Would have been his 3rd series where a Kevin Durant team has been swept. He can't win a playoff series. Not even going to play this series except 1 game. I don't think it's crazy that we kind of saw some stuff with. It's not Scottie Pippen, John, but it might be some Barkley stuff. It's going to look different, right? It's not built the same way. But I'm just saying, this may end up just not working out, and it will be interesting because Kevin Durant's not just going to sit on a team quietly and make no noise. If he don't want to be here anymore, if he doesn't think they can win or whatever, he'll want to be traded, and the Rockets will have to consider that at the trade deadline. But as a basketball player, he's a good basketball player. I don't know. My buddy Rodney also made this point. He goes, if you watch defensive rotations, it doesn't work. Remember, he was a former player. He said it doesn't work if not everyone is rotating hard and being intense on their rotations to make it uncomfortable. If one guy is doing it, but on a swing pass, the other guy doesn't close with the same intensity, then defensively, it's not working. He said the first thing he's noticed is that Kevin Durant is not playing with very good defensive intensity in his rotations, which is something that you have to do. And that's a pretty good point. It's something I didn't really, haven't been considering. There's this talk about, because he is a better defender than like a James Harden, for example, when I make the comparison, but he's not a great defender at this stage. Yeah, he's old, so we always have to give him a break because he's old. That's what I've been told by Dream Shake, because he's old, so nothing's his fault anymore, I guess. But I don't. You think everything's just going to be smooth sailing next year?
No,
I
don't.
Team?
But I think Fred VanVleet. Listen, to a man, we're not basketball experts, but every basketball expert that I saw after Game 3 was the same thing. We didn't have a point guard. We didn't have someone that could take control, knew what to do with 30 seconds left in the game and a 6-point lead. We had Jabari with the ball in his hands. We had Reed with the ball in his hands. And those two are not point guards.
And Amen's not a point guard.
And Amen's not a point guard. And Alpe's not a point guard. And Jabari's not none of them are point guards. The reason the Rockets lost is because they didn't have a point guard on the floor to take control, which is what a point guard is supposed to do. He's supposed to be the smartest guy. He's supposed to be an extension of the coach. He's supposed to know what to do in every situation, and the Rockets didn't have that. And that is on the front office, period. It's on the front office. The guys have been basketball players forever. They have to be accountable. They made the mistakes, and that's all fine. But they did not have someone who should be on the floor. And that is Rafael Stone's job. And Rafael Stone failed them this year. All year long, this has been the case. They don't know how to close out a game. How many times did they lose leads that they shouldn't have lost this year? They should have had home court advantage because they blew so many games. They had more talent, and they blew the game because they didn't know what to do at the end of games. And that has been the biggest a problem with this team all season long. And it's because they didn't have someone who could handle the ball at the end of the game. So everybody gets their blame. Kevin Durant should have been on the bench. He finally was. They shouldn't have lost that game. The series should be at least 2-2 or even 3-1 Rockets, because they should have taken. I mean, this has been a total disaster. But they weren't going to win anything anyway, according to GM. So oh well. This season was lost anyway. So big deal. No, this is on everybody. This is on everybody in the organization, because because everybody played a part in this, including the head coach, who won't take any responsibility. All right, we got a break. 713-780-3776. I've said I went on my rant. Sorry, but they need to do something. Oh, Fred's coming back. Great, Fred's coming back, everybody. So everything's going to be fine next year. But we're waiting until next year. Time to talk right now about the Golden Nugget. Golden Nugget Lake Charles. They don't make any mistakes there. I love me some Golden Nugget Lake Charles. I love what they do. I love going to the Golden Nugget Lake Charles. It is one of my favorite places because you don't have to go. Listen, I just saw a piece on Las Vegas, and nothing against Las Vegas, but the charges that they are charging you now are exorbitant through the roof every time you rent a room in Las Vegas. That you don't have the same stuff. Louisiana is bad with the taxes, but not nearly what Nevada is right now. Nevada is it's silly what you have to pay and the charges that you have in Las Vegas. Listen, it's so much easier to get there. I mean, you drive 2 hours down the road, 2.5 hours down the road. It's so easy as opposed to going to an airport 2.5 hours before your flight. Okay, so you want to gamble, you want the sports book, you want the nightclub, you want the concert venue, you want the golf course, you want the pool, you want the restaurants, you want the great hotel. 2 hours and 2.5 hours down the road. GoldenNuggetLC.com. So much easier than Vegas. GoldenNuggetLC.com.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right, I don't know. I don't understand this. We've got sound from Amen saying he doesn't know about Durant's injury, right?
No, that's not it. That's
what
not
do you think?
it.
It was his mood? Is that what?
He didn't know what his mood is.
The answer to the question was? It was about his mood. He didn't. I don't really know.
It was about his mood,
according to Big Sarge had.
He said this was the context of it. I mean, still it doesn't bode well that no one's texting with him after he was gone. Like, how you doing? How you feeling about everything? I don't know. Who cares? He's not playing anymore.
Well, okay, but wait. Whatever. But here is all right,
whatever.
Here's Dave McMenamin after. I guess this was before the game.
Yes,
this was before. Mm-hmm. This was before last night's game. Here's Dave McMenamin.
Amen Thompson was asked about an hour ago how KD is feeling, and he said, to be honest with you, I don't know. So whether that means KD's been doing all of his rehab away from the team or the team hasn't really necessarily been checking in on him, that's another dynamic to look for as we head towards tip-off.
Well, we saw Kevin on the bench. We saw him laughing and joking with the guys, although the guys didn't seem like they were. Fred and Kevin Durant were in on some joke that Reed, and I don't know who was actually Reed, Elpy? I forget who it was. They just weren't. They weren't in on. I don't know. Reed didn't look like it was all that funny to him, but they were laughing, yucking it up on the bench last night, having a good time. Kevin Durant was waving goodbye to DeAndre Ayton. How? Listen, was that an ejectable foul?
You make contact with the head, you're in trouble. From what I saw, it looked like he thought because he has to deal with Alpy minute by minute, Alpy was going to do the back end thing. So instead of Alpy's back being what he used to get hit in the back, he was going to hit him in the back with his forearm. Instead, it was his head because Alpy was a little lower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever.
But it was a legitimate forearm to the head. I mean,
so
it was
when it happens, that's going to be.
Yeah, I guess.
Alpy
Ayton was
thought it was
busting our ass a little bit. Like, I was glad to see him go.
Series. Alpy said
KD, Dream Shake's best friend KD was like waving and he was waving bye to. That's one of his old Phoenix teammates that he loved so much.
I mean,
No, he was gone. Was he still in Phoenix when KD was there?
Yes, he played at least 1 year with him.
Yeah.
When you're down 3-1, sure, it's going to be 3-1. You're down 3-0, but it's going to be 3-1, and you haven't played in multiple games. Perhaps we don't take the time to wave away.
They could have been waving to him the whole series.
Yeah, it's like if you're talking from the bench, maybe don't.
In your street clothes, you're waving goodbye? And he talks about fans saying stuff to players. He's on the bench in street clothes waving goodbye to DeAndre Ayton. What?
It's not great.
That's not. I mean, if I was doing it, that would be one thing. I had too many Coors Lights at that game. You don't think I was yelling at people, and especially Ime in that overtime game on Friday?
How did that's right? You were at the game.
I was there. It was awful. It was awful.
I have never seen such stupidity at the end of the game. I give them credit for coming back the way they did.
Dude.
I'm in the middle of my draft broadcast, right? So day 2, we did 4 hours of TV, and I got first I watched Snacks in his because Snacks had his he had his jiu-jitsu match where he just dominated and crushed. So I watched that on my phone. And then I got my computer up, and me and Bucky are kind of checking in. So I got to say picks every 3 minutes. I'm having to say who the pick was and tell you all about this pick. But I got the Rockets open. I'm watching the entire fourth quarter on my computer. And I couldn't believe – I'm trying not to let it show, but I think I ended up talking about it. I mentioned something about it. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I almost – at one point, Mike Yam asked me about a player, and I almost didn't talk because I was so mad. I just was so mad at what I was watching. And I had to eventually tweet about it. Like, I'm doing a draft show. But I'm watching the Rockets, and this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is an absolutely preposterous way to lose. A 6-point lead with 30 seconds to go is almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it was almost impossible.
And you were liquored up, too? That couldn't have been good.
Yeah, it was. I had a long day. golf and then the game. And
what did you say? What did
it
you
wasn't
say
good
from
for
your stance?
Ime. Not where I was sitting. It wasn't good for Ime.
It wasn't good for him?
No, it wasn't good.
Could
for
he
Ime.
hear you?
It wasn't good for KD not being there. It wasn't good for Jabari throwing that pass. Reed, nice job.
Did you mention KD
Reed
was 37 and taking it
Reed
easy on him?
finally hit some shots last night. Goodness. I know it's his this is basically his first playoff.
God, his shooting's been
It's been bad.
ass
He
booty.
needs to. I mean, that's a guy that could have stepped up, and if he'd have shot better, it wouldn't. They should have had a much bigger than 6-point lead. They outplayed the Lakers so bad after being down. And guess what? On Kelce, I took him. I had 3-1 on him. I had 3-1 on them when they were down. I said they're winning this game. Boom. I had 3-1 on them, and they had a 6-point lead. You think they didn't catch it? You think they didn't catch it when I had them 3-1 and they blew a 6-point lead with 30 seconds?
I think they caught it.
They caught it from me. That's for sure. All right, let's get Chris in here, and then we got what did you learn this weekend in one sentence? There's a lot of stuff we learned this weekend in one sentence. So, Chris, let's get him in here, and then we're going to play what did you learn this weekend in one sentence. You get one sentence to tell us what you learned from something, anything. Doesn't have to be sports related, but something you learned this weekend in one sentence. 713-780-3776. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? Guys? Love the show. Hey, Lance, you actually bring up a very good point that I don't think a lot of people think about, and I didn't think about it with Ime. I wonder if some of this Reed, Jabari mess-ups and another professionals is because every time they look over, Ime's throwing something or walking back to grab another substitute, and there is a certain sense, I'm not saying like it's fun, fair, positive encouragement and all that, but I do get the sense like there is some maybe hesitation is the word I'm thinking of or something like that, and then it's tough for KD because he's a good scorer. I like his attributes. But if you think about the past championship teams, like if we were to win the championship, nobody's rallying around like hugging him. They don't even know the guy, but like Jokic and Shea, Giannis, Braun, like those guys are invested. It just feels kind of weird. In the end of the game, Jabari, he shouldn't have been bringing the ball up. Like we should have had, I don't care, Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepard, a couple of point guards in there. I mean, how do we not know how to break a press or get a? I don't know. I blame a lot of this on Ime. I'm a little frustrated with the situation, but I do think the fatherly thing, maybe fatherly is the wrong word, but there is some sense in which everybody's scared. Like, they always look over, and he's, like, losing his mind. I don't know. It just feels like he's a control freak. I'm ready to move on from him. If you think about Mark Jackson moving to Steve Kerr with the Warriors, Mark Jackson was a real hard-ass, and then you move to Kerr, who's the players' coach, now you have a nucleus. I think that there might be something to that if we could figure out the next coach after Ime. I'll hang up the list. Thanks, guys.
We'll see. I know there's some frustration all the way around with that. There's some frustration, a little bit of frustration with the head coach. There is, and it should be. And if there isn't, then I don't know. This team was supposed to be better than this, and they're not. And it's on everybody in that organization that they're not. Everybody. Time to break, and let's go. 713-780-3776. What did you learn this weekend in one sentence? Lance, what have you learned about M&J Electrical?
I didn't learn anything recently. I mean, I've been knowing this. I learned, although I did have, we cut a commercial with Jacob Coker's, the owner's wife and daughter. And the thing, I didn't want to mention this. The family is really a neat family. They're a high-performing family. And the way that the owner goes about his business is he really empowers people to become their best self. And it's a little thing. I mean, you may not think much of it. You may say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it just kind of speaks to the way that they do business over there. They want to make sure that you are happy with the work that they're going to do for you, whether it's selling you brand new or refurbished equipment, and this is circuit breakers, transformers, disconnects, panels, switch gear, whether they are selling it to you, whether they are buying it from you and refurbishing, or whether they're coming in for the removal. And if you're in charge of a large project, they come in and they'll do the removal for you, and they give you good money for the old electrical stuff. And they can also, sell you the new stuff that you need. They are so good at making sure that you are happy with the parts as well. For a lot of companies out there, your lead times just get blown up because you've got parts that are on standby, and you're having to wait for your project that's costing you money. MJ, they are going to have the new equipment or the refurbished equipment. They're going to have it available for you 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. and they're even available for emergencies. So make sure they're located at Stubner Airline near I-45 North in West Little York. Make sure you give them a call, and they will take care of you on the buy, the sell, or also the removal at 713-699-5055. That's 713-699-5055.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right, welcome back. Time to play What You Learned This Weekend in one sentence. One sentence is all you get to tell us what you learned this weekend. I learned something. I learned that Marlon Klein, the Texans' second-round pick, is from Germany and has a smoking hot girlfriend who's a Detroit Pistons cheerleader, so he's a fine addition to our city.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
he's a fine addition, as opposed to the act. Never mind. There's something fine there, but I don't know if it's Marlon.
It's Marlon. He's a fine addition.
Nah, there's something fine.
There is something fine
in the mentions, but I'm not sure in your mentions there. But I'm not sure if it's Marlon.
I gotta Google.
I learned that if you want to find someone who's bout it, go look at second division Spanish League soccer.
Okay.
Okay.
I learned that tight ends are really important.
Why tight ends, in fact?
Really important.
Why tight end? Very important. Yes.
I just learned that Marlon Klein's girlfriend is a dancer for the Detroit Pistons.
That's what I said.
John just told you that.
You just learned that.
Learned that
I
from
just
John.
learned that from listening
You learned that
to
on Monday, not this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Here we go. What did you learn this weekend in one sentence? First up is Mike. Mike, what'd you learn this weekend?
Yeah, I learned that there's a hot mic audio of Ime and KD arguing back and forth about who he hates the team most and who's going to be able to leave first.
There's no way that's true.
That's not true. 713-780-3777.
Better not be true. But with
You didn't
I
learn
just
that.
feel like
You made
there's
that
an
up this
outside
weekend.
chance. Yeah, it has to be true.
You didn't.
If that's true, you better send us something.
Yeah. AI Tom is here with us on ESPN 97.5. Hey, AI Tom.
Morning, gentlemen. Sorry about last week. I had a virus. I learned how to hack your iCloud photos. Oh, yeah, nachos.
What?
He learned
Yeah,
how to
we're not
hack your iCloud photos.
We may not be able to
Making
take that call
nachos?
anymore.
Nachos, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. That's an improvement. Incremental improvement is what
It
we're
was
looking for. We
better.
could hear him this time.
Yeah, but
And
the
voice
material wasn't
the
great.
voice I enjoyed. Now we just got to work on the
Yeah,
material.
the material wasn't great.
Yeah, you guys just find a new writer.
Yeah. AI
if you
Tom.
can do that, you got a shot.
AI
I
Tom
guess.
should be
Well,
writing better than
To
that.
be fair, AI ain't great sometimes when
Well,
it
that's
comes to
true.
maybe
Yeah,
that's the
that's
bit
true.
he's doing when it comes to actually sounding like a human being. So maybe that's the bit. Let's move
Ocho.
to Ocho.
Ocho's up next. Hey, Ocho.
Yeah, I learned that you feel as good as I do if you bet $100 on the Lakers to win the series at plus 550 and another $100 for them to win it in 5 games at plus 220.
Nice. I think you do feel pretty good about yourself, don't you, Ocho? But guess what? That series is coming back here. So your little Game 5 thing, okay, that series is coming back to Houston. Just so you know. Just so you know, sir. All right? I saw a much better basketball team out there.
Did you?
Well, because KD was there supporting them.
I mean, I didn't see a different game. I just saw, the Lakers like, hey, you know how we throw the ball away all the time? Let's do that even more tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's what they do.
And it hadn't kept them from winning games before. This is classic old team going.
The only thing the only reason this series isn't tied at 2 is because of low key.
Well, the
Rockets
are not going to stop being low key. They've been low key all season. That's classic old team. We got our one. Let's go home. Ain't nothing different.
Here we go.
Watch this we've watched all playoff series.
Watch this series.
We've all watched generations of playoff series at this point. This is how this goes. The old team's like,
got
our one.
It does kind of go like that, where the other team really focuses.
No, not this case. It doesn't. Not this case.
I
Remember,
hope you're right. But we have
remember
seen
the
this.
Red Sox down 0-3. Boom.
Yeah.
Came back.
Kevin,
they made a whole series about it. Wait till they make this series.
Remember when Kevin Millar had that bone bruise in his ankle and couldn't play?
No.
It wasn't Kurt Schilling bleeding out of the
Kevin
ankle?
Kevin Millar was Kevin Durant.
Can you imagine if Kevin Durant's ankle was bleeding?
Wasn't Kurt Schilling bleeding and pitched?
Schilling, yeah. All right.
No, I'm just
Millar.
throwing names of the Red Sox out there.
Pedroia.
Just random names.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about the bloody sock one. KD will play with the bloody sock. He'll do that. That guy plays hurt.
Let's get Julian in here. Hey, Julian, what'd you learn this weekend about your 49ers?
Morning, fellas. I learned that the only consensus that John Lynch and the Niners are worried about is the consensus in the building.
Mm-hmm. So you probably don't know this, but John Lynch was this guy who's a rabble-rouser and a muckraker in the Bay Area. He's like known for just trying to cause problems at press conferences.
Grant Cohn.
Well, yeah, what's his name?
Grant Cohn.
Yeah, so Bucky was telling me about him. He asked a question. He asked a very pointed question about them continuing to reach and having bad drafts or something like that. And the look on John Lynch's face was like, I want to strangle him so bad.
Well, I
do
have the ranking of the draft reaches, and 49ers were number 1 in reaches.
They've had some rough drafts.
Yeah.
If you go look at the 49ers drafts, John Lynch is now a close personal friend because I talked to him at the Senior Bowl. So now we're probably
you guys are
pretty
besties?
close.
Yeah.
And I want him to do well, but when somebody mentioned the 49ers drafts being so bad, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is rough. That's rough. It's been a rough run for a little while now.
Yes, I got the Rams had the second most reaches, and the third most reaches?
Texans.
All right. We'll talk about that.
I'll talk about the next hour. We'll lead off.
Yeah.
I'll give you every thought on every pick.
Yeah, we got a lot to do here.
Yeah.
La raza que pasó, mijo.
Los Ángeles Johnny, give esa salchicha.
No, I don't like this one
at all.
Hey, give me some of that salchicha. Hey, give me some of that salchicha.
Gentlemen, good morning, para tres.
Gentlemen, good morning. So I'll make this short and sweet. So I found out that I learned that my uncle Theo Isaac was the one giving Houston, Texas the 141st pick.
I didn't understand him.
He said it's, they have fans make picks for teams.
Oh, yeah.
His uncle made the pick for the Texans.
No,
At least that's what he said.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no way that's his uncle.
I mean,
that dude is he the one who goes, he was he was screaming. He was from Mexico City, I believe. He was screaming. Like you could tell he had been out drinking and yelling and partying the day before, and his voice could barely get through it. I know that's who he's talking
I don't know who. I didn't know.
Oh.
I missed that.
Do you have it, Del?
Well, La Raza sent it to me. I just saw it. I mean.
Oh, okay. Here it is. And it goes on and on. It takes. Wait, here.
Oh, wow.
Just a bunch of stone-faced white people in the crowd going, what are we sitting through right now?
Basically, all of the international people all partied with each other, because they fly in people from London and from Australia, and who are NFL fans, and every one of them who got up there there's a real brotherhood that is developed with all of us from overseas, and it shows that the game is truly international. And all of them are just completely lit.
There was a Australian maybe or Irish, I forgot, Ravens fan. She said, "I'm gonna make this short, like your playoff run, Steelers." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, she was good. That was a good one.
Yeah, Mark Ingram, who only played for the Ravens for like a season and a half, was like, he put his son up there, and his son goes, "The Steelers still suck."
Yeah, Mark Ingram was dressed in
he
purple.
Played for the Ravens? Oh, yeah, for like a year.
He was dressed in purple, too. Like, he's officially a Raven.
He said Ravens flock, whatever they call themselves. We got a couple more people to get to.
All right.
He was a longer Saint than he was a Raven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, what'd you learn this weekend in one sentence?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I learned that Jabari Smith should have been a part of that trade to acquire KD instead of Dylan Brooks.
Man, Dylan Brooks is really showing out this year.
Really
He's had a
learn
great
that?
year.
It would have been nice if it was. I mean, nothing against Jabari, but Dylan Brooks brought an attitude that this team lacks.
Yeah, he said he wished Jabari was in that trade.
Yeah.
And apparently that's one of the guys they asked for, but the Rockets said no.
Wow. Big mistake number 2. Peter, what'd you learn this weekend in one sentence?
As I learned this weekend. Oh, there we go. Hey, guys. I finally got around to watching Django Unchained this weekend, so I learned that Tarantino has free reign to use certain words.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He's been using them.
Yeah, he's always pushed that envelope. Django Unchained, but go ahead and watch The Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I mean,
it's feet
or Pulp Fiction.
It's feet and the N-word.
Those
are his things.
Right.
He's known. He's well known for putting. He says it in the He says it in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. When he's
himself, his character.
Yeah, his character does.
And his wife is black, which gave him. He felt like this will give me the pass.
Which he's drinking coffee and just dropping N-bombs all over. I mean,
well, he said the dead whatever.
Yeah.
In the car, and then he uses that word, and it's like, but then he gives himself a black wife, so it's like,
yeah, this should do it. This will make it much better for the script if I give my wife, if I make my wife black, I can totally say anything I want.
Anything, because I got a black wife.
I got a black wife.
Finally, Tony in Friendswood, what did you learn this weekend?
Morning, gentlemen. I learned this weekend that Lance McCullers was throwing coffee bags down the middle, and just one spot I gotta go.
He was throwing
coffee bags down the middle. All right, so I will admit, I paid full attention to Spencer Getty. I was just completely out of the baseball stuff because of draft stuff. What happened with McCullers? It was bad.
I mean, I don't know. 12-4 is that bad enough for you, or 8-4 is that bad enough for you?
Burrows was fine, I guess.
I mean, Burrows was okay.
He wasn't terrible. McCullers.
What, 5 earned runs in 4 innings? What?
No,
it wasn't that bad. McCullers.
No, actually,
not great.
3 and 4.
Eric Getty was great yesterday.
Eric Getty was
Dude,
great.
I
Eric
was
Getty
there.
is balling the freak
I was
out
there
right
yesterday. He brings it. He brings.
He now has what, 2 of their 4 quality starts? No, 2 of their 5 now.
Is
it 2 of their 5?
Yeah.
He got 5 quality starts, but
he ain't had a bad start yet.
No, he has 2 of their quality.
Yeah,
their
they've
5
only
quality.
got 6 guys now that have gone 6 innings.
Yeah, not 6 times it's happened, not just 6
Starts.
guys. 6 times that it's happened.
There's no chance
Burrows
he has
had
6 guys.
was 5 innings, 2 earned runs. He
He wasn't
8
bad.
strikeouts.
He just couldn't go deep into the
Oh,
game,
yeah,
and it got
that's
away
pretty good.
from them after he left.
Burrows was okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good start.
And then
I'll
the
take that.
bullpen. And then
5
the guy
innings
that
is
they
the
were
new 6
talking about
innings.
how good he's going to be, Kei Ting, he lasted a third of an inning, and then it was on the Yankees, but the Astros got him
The
yesterday.
Astros are like the Rockets. Saved the weekend by winning on Sunday.
That's right. They saved the weekend. Not really.
No, it
Not
was
really. The weekend.
Friday was atrocious
Friday,
for both teams.
It was a bad day for Houston. Yesterday, good day. Friday, bad day. 801 ESPN 97.5, 713-780-3776 if you want to get in here. Lance is going to break down the Texans draft when we come back. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Do not, whatever you do, watch Caden McDonald's nephew talking to him. I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not. Holy crap. He is.
His nephew talking to him.
Yeah. His
nephew. Like a little kid?
Yeah, he's a little kid talking about how proud he is of him. And
no, dude, get it, Dell.
No, it is.
I want to see it break.
He told me not to because he doesn't
no,
want people
that's
crying.
that's his trick.
No. I'm saying
he tells
don't.
you not to because he wants you to.
Don't do it because it's teary eyed in here.
That's okay.
No,
if you didn't see it, Caden McDonald. So the Texans moved up on day 2. Super happy with this. Super happy.
Why did he last that long?
Because he's an interior rusher he's an interior defender who doesn't rush the passer, and those guys typically don't have first-round value. If you're just a run defender, because teams throw so much, defenses are in sub packages so much, the rush packages that nose guards or nose tackles who don't rush, they're off they don't play as many snaps, so there's less value for them.
Okay, so
that's the only reason why he's considered. I talked to a GM yesterday. It's not Ballard, it's a different GM from an AFC team, who told me we were talking about defensive tackles, and he said, "Oh, he's clearly the best run defender in the whole draft, the defensive tackle." Like he said, it's not even close. He's the best run defender, which I definitely thought. Caleb Banks has a chance to be, really good. Caleb Banks has the highest upside, but Caden McDonald has the best, he's the best run defender. This is, the Texans knew. So the Giants were going to take Caden McDonald. I got that intel. I didn't share anything with the Texans, by the way, but Caden McDonald was going to go to the Giants. They wanted him. And that's pretty easy to figure out. They lost Dexter Lawrence. This is a pretty easy one. And this is what happens when you have a huge need that everyone recognizes you have that need. It's easy for teams to jump you, And the Texans just jumped the Giants. They are like, Giants will probably take them. Let's get up there. Let's move up and get them. And that's what they did. They moved up and got their guy, Caden McDonald. I was happy to see he was on the board. He was their top guy. So Caden McDonald was the pick, and he had tears, streaming down his face.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really cool moment to see that. And I think, he's got heavy hands. He's tough to move off the point of attack. He's got something that I don't typically see with the Tech. I'm going to give Nick a big compliment here in a second. I love the whole draft. We'll get through it. But Nick clearly has an idea of what he wants to do this year, and he's followed through with it in the offseason, and I've been impressed on the offensive side. Caden McDonald is something they haven't had, which is just a run plugger, a drain clogger. They haven't had that. It's more about guys who can kind of get up the field and cause disruption. And I think one of the things that's really been missing is just a big hog in the middle that can make it tough for guys to block him.
And it's
what
surprising, too, because he came from New England, which had the biggest. And the
Vince Wilfork, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big part of their success. Now they've got it.
But does D'Amico want that typically? D'Amico covets leaner body type guys and, disruptive guys. This was a departure from what D'Amico it feels like a departure from what D'Amico typically has.
Yeah. All right. So DJ Bieneme says Kalen Rutledge plays week 1. Kalen Rutledge has said, I can play center. Yeah. Is he the starting center week 1?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so because, Evan Brown is really more of a backup, and the Texans needed to upgrade from Jake Andrews. He fights and puts up a good fight, but he and Jared Patterson aren't good enough. And they needed to get better, and Keelan Rutledge took some snaps at center. I wrote him up as a guard. He did take some snaps at center at the Senior Bowl. And so my guess is that's where they're going to start him. Now, if there's issues with snaps, then we could have an issue. We could have a problem. But I see them playing him, and he may be a full-time center for his whole career. That may be the position he plays for his whole career. I saw conversations online. Well, maybe he starts there and then moves over to guard. And Fabici, Wawi, their fourth-round pick. Maybe he becomes a starting center, and Rutledge becomes a guard.
Yeah, but
I just know they got physical.
but they've got. I mean, there's no way Ingram or Teller don't start. So.
No. Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying is they paid Evan Ingram and they paid not Evan Ingram. They paid Ed Ingram and they paid Wyatt Teller to be starters. So yeah, Rutledge is probably going to be the starter. I'd say DJ Baname is going to be right on that one. And that is, and listen, Braden Smith at right tackle, they have just substantially upgraded their run blocking. Substantially upgraded run blocking. Then you had a hammerhead like Dave Montgomery. He's not really a hammerhead, but he is a guy who runs with some physicality. And you now have I'm now sensing a philosophy. It's just been an amalgamation of just players. Just throw a bunch of players on offense. And there's been no real clear, I don't feel like there's been a real clear philosophy. There's not been a clear mixing of parts that make, adding parts that make a lot of sense that play directly into one philosophy. Except this year, for the first time, I'm like, wow, Braden Smith, Keelan Rutledge, they redo Ed, they re-sign Ed, they go out and get Wyatt Teller, and David Montgomery. This is Nick Caserio basically said, we're going to run the ball. We're not gonna have C.J. Stroud winning games for us, and when he needs to, we're going to have a complementary running game that is going to help. So they basically said we're taking some off C.J.'s plate, and we're going to become a dominant run team.
I could see now. I could see
now
them being like this is the Lions offense now. You got David Montgomery, Woody Marks is Jahmyr Gibbs. You said CJ is Jared Goff like. Yeah.
Well, Woody Marks as Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's a lot.
That's right. I said it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
You got thunder and lightning. What?
Wow. No.
So Nick Caley is Ben Johnson?
Yeah.
Who's Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Nico?
No, it's Jalen Noel probably.
Who's J-Mo?
That would be Nico.
I think they're
Jaden Higgins.
They're better than those two. Better. Yep. Watch. This is the Lions offense. What? That's right.
Who's Sam Laporta?
Marlon Klein.
Dalton
whose
Schultz.
girlfriend who was in Detroit with his
What
girlfriend.
are you making these noises for, Dell?
You're saying a lot of things. Lots of things. Who's Penei Sewell?
Ariante Ursula.
Are you kidding me? He wishes he was Ariante.
I don't know that he does.
Kind of does.
Man, the Lions.
Yep. This is the Lions offense now.
Maybe the Dan Orlovsky-led Lions
Boom.
offense. Wow.
Okay.
I hope so. Because, I like the team to score touchdowns and be explosive, too.
So, before we go to break, you like the first two picks? Don't
Yeah,
love them,
yeah, I
love
really-
them, don't like them, what?
No, I like them a lot. And there's a lot of Texans fans who are upset and salty because my grade on them was a 6.29. But a 6.29 is basically a 6-star. That means, above average starter. 6.2s are starters in the league. They get caught up in the semantics of some of the wording that's been on the grade sheet, the grade chart. A 62 player is a starter. Either can become an early starter, may eventually become a starter. I had him, and frankly, I should have raised his grade maybe a hair after the Senior Bowl, but my round projection on him, most drafts he would have been like an early third. In this draft, he clearly needed to be in at least the middle second, but what I found out was that offensive line coaches loved him so much that he was going to go to the Raiders. So the Raiders are going to take him in the second round, and I saw people getting fussy about apparently they were mad that the Texans didn't draft McDonald there and Keelan Rutledge back in the second because, and in theory, yes, in theory that would have been true. You could have maybe done that and not given up a draft pick. But the reality was the Raiders had targeted Keelan Rutledge, so you were going to have to move ahead of them in the second round. So it was still going to take just like you did with it was the same thing. You moved up to get ahead of the Giants for McDonald. You would have had to move up ahead of the Raiders to get your hands on Rutledge. It's just what it is. That was what it was going to take. But I like both of those guys. Now,
wait. We'll do the rest on the other side.
Okay, we'll do the rest of it.
Yeah, we'll do the rest of it on the other side. Right here on ESPN 97.5. We got that. So we just started. We got client. We got woo-woo. We got all kinds of guys to talk about here. Don't go anywhere. Right now, though, we got HRP. HRP.net, 281-880-6525 or HRP.net. Our friends not really neighbors, but they're our friends and they're our partners. They're our business partners here, and they've been our business partners here for a while. And they you know what? They don't succeed if we don't succeed. Their goal is to make sure that every business that they are with is as profitable as possible, is as economically sound as possible, gets their payroll to their people the best possible way, the most inexpensive way, gets their HR to their people. HR is a big expense, and it really, I mean, you know what? You can do it a lot better than if you've got an entire HR department. You've got HR&P that can do that for you. There are HR issues, obviously, but how are you doing it, okay? HR&P will do it more economically than you are. The tax situation. You don't need a tax accountant. You've got HR&P that's taking care of all of that stuff for you and for your employees. All the W-2s, everything they take care of. HR&P makes us better. HR&P will make your business better. What are you doing? What are you doing with your benefits packages? Let HR&P help you decide what's the best for your people, because it's what they do every day. You don't. So you're looking for the best way to be better? HRP.net. You tell them you heard it right here. 281-880-6525 or HRP.net.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right, welcome back. 713-780-3776. You got some questions for Lance. We went through the first two picks. Liked them a lot. Okay. Both guys start in week one, right? Mm-hmm. Now you get round 2, number 59, Marlon Klein, the tight end out of Michigan.
Yep.
You thought they would go with the tight end out of Ohio State. They went with the tight end out of Michigan. Why?
Yeah. Now, I did know they liked Marlon Klein. Actually, my mock draft, I had Will Kazmarek. I put him in because I think I may have already – I can't remember if I put Marlon Klein in there or not, but I was told they liked Marlon Klein, and so – because I had him in a 4th, and I was told the Texans had a good chance of maybe taking him in a 3rd, so I changed his round projection. You'll see it on the NFL Draft Tracker. My round projection was 3rd, 4th, and typically that's where a guy like Klein would go, 3rd or 4th. But this is a weird year because Nate Borkacher from Texas A&M was drafted as the 3rd tight end off the board in the 2nd round, which kind of blew everyone away. And the NFL flipped out because everyone's trying to copy. The Rams ran 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 30% of the time last year, which is insane. I didn't realize they ran it that much. And they had success with it. And so this being a copycat league, everyone, and this is a deep tight end draft, so everyone had the same idea. We're going to draft a bunch of tight ends. They're like, we're going to go get our tight end. Well, once Nate Berkshire came off the board, and this was after Eli Stores from Vanderbilt came off the board, and shout out to Nate. I mean, I loved his tape. I was a big fan of his. But in most drafts, he goes in the 4th round. But you have to remember, so a certain NFC team had a grand total of 34 grades of players to make it in the 1st and 2nd round. They put 1st or 2nd round grades on only 34 players. And there's 64 total players in the first 2 rounds. This shows you how weak this draft was. And so 2 things happened. This started a tight end run where everyone flipped out and said, we're drafting guys around early. That's basically what happened was they drafted guys early because, like, Klein in the 2nd, for me, was kind of crazy. But so was Nate Berkshire in the 2nd. And so was pretty much all the, other than Stowers, I thought a lot of these 2nds were early. I thought some of the 3rds were around early. So that's just the nature of it. Everyone wanted to do the same thing, which was, get tight ends so they can run more 12 and 13 personnel. And 12 means 1 running back, 2 tight ends. 13, 1 running back, and 3 tight ends. And he's a German-born player, Marlon Klein. He came over from Germany to Georgia in high school so he could become a football player. He, was playing some football over in Germany, came and stayed with the family outside of Atlanta. So he's not really a finished product. He's kind of late. He's a little bit late to the sport. I mean, he did play in high school, but they liked him enough that they took him at Michigan, and he looked really good in some of the camps that Michigan attended. So they brought him in, and he's got a little grit at the point of attack as a blocker. He moves as a wide receiver pretty well. Ran a 4.61, which is pretty fast for his size. At 6'6", 244, long strider. What I said was more muscle mass is needed, but Klein has a chance to become a day 3 pick as a backup. Why? The Texans clearly see him as a speed-building combination tight end, where and these combination tight ends are really in vogue right now because you can get more, a true wide tight end, which is an inline blocker. They don't have much value catching football. If you can get down the field and uncover, if you got some speed and you can block, these are the really valuable players, and that's why they coveted Klein. And did they draft him early? I think they did, but I think all the tight ends got drafted early.
So wait, now you got Schultz, Stover, you got Moreau, you got Klein.
Yeah. You're going to carry 4.
You're keeping 4?
You're probably going to carry 4.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if your plan is to run 12 or even 13 personnel, the new thing is going to be to carry only, like 3 running backs and maybe to carry 4 tight ends now. I think you're going to start seeing teams carry more tight ends than they used to.
If they're going to run the ball more, Moreau and Marlon Klein are nice additions.
Yeah, and that's what, we already know Dalton Schultz doesn't block. That's what Moreau was brought in for. Moreau was brought in to be a blocker. But I'm looking at they've got Cade Stover, Luke Lachey from
what happens with him?
Iowa, Lane Pryor, don't even know him. Brevin Jordan. Brevin's going to have a hard time making a team. I mean, You're right. Dalton Schultz, Foster Moreau, Marlon Klein, and probably Cade Stover make the team. There's probably going to be 4 of them. If you're Cade Stover, you're not long for this team. You're not getting a second contract, more than likely. I tend to doubt it. I don't know. Maybe Foster Moreau goes away, and maybe Cade Stover does stick around and gets a second contract. Who knows?
All right. Round 4, 106 overall, Fabici and Nwawu.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his, but the NFL. But this isn't just the Texans. I talked to more teams that like him way better than I did. I don't see it.
I saw a piece on him though about what a great teammate he is.
Great teammate,
Yeah.
really good football character. Can play center. Can play center. I'm trying to remember if he's played some tackle. He's played guard. His best position, I think, is going to be at center eventually. I view him more as, for me, I think he's going to end up being more of a backup depth guy who might get into some games. Sometime the Texans probably think a little bit higher of him. He's inconsistent with move blocks, so he needs to play around the line of scrimmage. When you put him on the move, he's not going to be as effective. Texans, I think, are going to run a lot more zone gap scheme anyway, which is more downhill, playing right at you. But he plays with really good effort, plays tough. He's got long arms. He's got big hands, so he's got that size and the traits that you kind of like. He's got position flexibility. So for a day 3 pick, somebody who plays center and guard, who has size and length, he fits a certain physical profile. It's fine. It's just my personal opinion I just think he's just kind of an average backup personally. But the Texans and I frequently don't agree on offensive line, to be honest with you, or some of these mid-round picks.
Well, the Texans have been
Nick and
great
I just
at
don't
it, so
see it
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we just don't see the same on some of these. Wade Woodaz, I think, is a really good 4th-round pick, and here's why. My grade on him is kind of average backup, but I think he is an average backup will. Like he's a step below To'o for me personally, the way I graded it, but he's a plus special teams player. So once you hit the 4th round, some of these linebackers, if they are full-time special teams guys, and I had him projected in the 4th, 5th round, he's smart. He doesn't really buy into misdirection, so he keys on the play really well. Needs to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, and he has enough man matchup ability where he can stay on the field, but he's really going to shine on special teams. So I think he'll be a core special teamer starting right off the bat his rookie year. The next pick was Kamari Ramsey. Really like this pick. The problem with Kamari Ramsey is he has missed multiple games, and I had a 4th-round grade, but I gave him a good backup to potential eventual starter grade on him. And the issue with him is that he has missed, he's missed multiple games during his in consecutive seasons. So now you have to worry about durability. Is that going to be a concern? But he can play multiple safety positions, meaning free safety, meaning playing back, playing down near the line of scrimmage, or even playing where the Texans play Jalen Petrie, which is the safety spot. We call it a nickel, but that's 3rd safety. So he can play multiple safety spots, which means he can back up multiple safeties. Very competitive at the catch point. He is pretty good at tightening the windows inside the routes. He can run the alley and adjust himself to tackle runners on the move. I think where his change of direction is kind of average. He gets beat by good route runners when he's got to match up man-to-man. So, and he's inconsistent finding run fits near the line of scrimmage. But, this is the 3rd year in a row they've gone and gotten a USC defensive back. 3rd year in a row. Caden Bullock, they struck gold. Jalen Smith, we don't know. He missed all last year. And now you've got Kamari Ramsey. So Texans clearly like what the DB coach does over there. Lewis Bond, I don't think makes the team. He was drafted. He's just not quick enough to separate and get open, I don't think. Kind of a hard hat possession receiver. He played for Bill O'Brien over there at Boston College. He's got really good ball skills. He's a skilled player. He's a really skilled player. So that's not really That's not really a problem. He knows how to play football. He's just not shifty. He has a hard time beating press. He has a hard time getting open. I think his athletic limitations, in my opinion, are what is going to make it hard to win in the NFL. Like, I think he's better against zone than he's going to be against man coverage. And so if you man up on him, I don't think he's going to be able to uncover. Just doesn't have those kind of athletic gifts. Aiden Fisher, another kind of athletically limited player from Indiana. Great football character. He is a player who is exactly what you want to be. I said team leader with mindset that was emblematic of Indiana football, came over from James Madison and was an extension. The defensive coordinator even said, this guy is an extension of me on the field every single time. Like when he's out on the field, he's basically me. And that's the kind of coach on the field, green dot linebacker that you're getting with him. The issue for him is quickness and athletic ability. He can read the play design and gets to the action at a pretty high rate. But I think the inability to get sideline to sideline, I think the lack of speed and burst and suddenness and also his coverage talent when teams throw against him is really going to make it a little bit harder for him to make the team. Wade Woodaz will make it as a linebacker. I think Aiden Fisher is going to have a tough time making it. He's a 7th-round pick, so, I mean, whatever. It's it is what it is. So that's all of theirs. I got to get a list. Let me take a list of their undrafted free agents, and I'll tell you if anyone pops up.
Well, what about Whittington, the running back from Oregon?
Oh, yeah. So they got Noah Whittington?
Yeah. There was a run that he made against Minnesota that was unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's one of the guys that I saw that they picked up. And if you see this run against Minnesota, he just won't quit. And he scored a touchdown on it. There were 10 guys that had a chance to tackle him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had I think I had a late draftable on him. Yeah, I had borderline kind of had a 7 PFA on him. No, I had a 6th, 7th. I thought he might go in a 6th or 7th. He's a 6-year senior, 3 seasons of steady play and production. Downhill runner who plays behind his pads and takes care of the football. He lacks speed to widen the field and fluidity to create for himself when there is no clear point of entry. He's tough and relatively decisive with a knack for falling forward and adding yards through physicality. His age and lack of third down value might work against him in pursuit of a roster spot. Yeah. So basically, if you're going to be a 3rd or 4th back, you're going to have to either – it's really tough because they typically want you to have some third down value or some special teams value. So he may have to prove that he can cover a little bit on and he's 5 cover on special teams. He's only 5'8", 205, or he's just going to have to really be good as a short yardage back. So that's going to be a little tough. It'll be a little tough for him to make the team just because he doesn't have that third down value. Looking through these, James Neal's, a lot of guys I don't know. The kid from wide receiver from Illinois State's interesting. Daniel Sabakowitz, he was super, super productive. They got a good punter, Jake Stonehouse. Wow. See, I thought Stonehouse would get drafted. So they got Jake Stonehouse, which he has a real chance, I think, to compete for a spot with the Texans. It may not excite a lot of you, but I think they're I think they need to shoot for having the best punter possible, and that's and Stonehouse has a shot there. I don't see a huge list for the Texans. Are they kind of a smaller list of players?
I'm looking at I don't see. Yeah, I
only saw like 6 or 7. These guys are starting to get expensive. Certain undrafted free agents. If you want to get the best ones,
Whittington, Walt Hall, Colin.
Oh,
Wright.
They got Walt Hall from Incarnate Word.
Sebastian Harsh.
Yeah, I don't know
Daniel Sobkowitz,
Stephen
Hall, the center out of Missouri, James Neal III, and
the center out of Missouri is not bad. He's okay.
Trayvon Saunders, the wide receiver from Colgate.
Yeah, I don't know Trayvon Saunders.
Jack Stonehouse, the punter from Syracuse. Noah Whittington.
I wrote fewer players this year than I have in the past, but so I don't know. There's a lot of these guys I don't know. Jalen Walthall, I know. Jack Stonehouse, obviously, I know. I don't know the Missouri corner. I do know Noah Whittington. They obviously didn't put a lot into undrafted frees. They got a lot of money already tied up with that roster.
Yep.
Sorry, Will Anderson just got y'all's money.
That's all.
Undrafted
All right.
free agents.
8:34. We're gonna break. 713-780-3776. We went through the Texans. You guys got questions on it, or anybody else? Lance is here for you at 713-780-3776.
It's John and Lance,
On ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
live from the Huntington Bank Studios. Here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
Nick Caserio, 3 more trades, 28 trades in 6 years.
Wow.
28 trades, draft trades in 6 years. That's
he's not afraid to.
He ain't afraid to move around.
He ain't afraid to move up and down. That's for sure.
He likes to move around. That's for sure.
Yeah.
John wants to get in here and talk about the draft. Hey, John.
Yeah, I had two Aggie questions. I'm afraid that Casey Concepcion is going to go to Cleveland and just disappear. They drafted at Boston right after him, and they got Shador as a quarterback. I wanted to know your opinion on that, Lance. And also, Le'Veon Moss, did you think he was going to go undrafted, or did you think he should have been drafted?
I would have. Well, so it's a bad running back draft, so people basically just punted on running backs. I think Le'Veon Bell. To me, Le'Veon Bell's underrated. I really relied more on his 2024 tape than last year when he was hurt. So I actually think Le'Veon Bell is going to make a team. And I'm sorry, Le'Veon
Bell is accusing Adam Gase of
doing
coke.
He's the one. He's on that white girl.
Yeah,
he basically just literally said he saw him snorting coke
before practice.
So here's one of two things.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. So one of two things can happen. Either Adam Gase can defend himself and have a lawsuit, which will then turn into discovery and will then turn into, people being not subpoenaed. What's the word? Where you have the interview. Oh.
Deposition.
So he'll have to be deposed, or he's just going to say, I wish he wouldn't have said that, but I ain't messing with this, which is, I think, what's going to happen. But, yeah, Le'Veon Moss from Texas A&M, physical runner. I think he's the type of runner that can make – he's got good size. I think he can make an NFL team. I think he's better than – did I expect him to get drafted? I thought – I was kind of on the fence about it. Like, I gave him a draftable grade. I projected him to get drafted, I think, 6th round, I believe. But with this being a weak running back draft, they just punted. I mean, there was only 2 running backs that even went in the first 2 days. In the first 3 rounds, in the first 100 picks, only 2 running backs went. That's it. Only 2 running backs, and then – of course, Carson Beck I knew would get drafted in the 3rd round, but Drew Aller in the 3rd from Pittsburgh, there they are betting on that's a backup round, the 3rd round, but it's backup with a chance to, maybe a chance to eventually compete maybe for a starting job. So there was only 4 quarterbacks drafted and 2 running backs drafted. It's like the lowest number in history, I think, for the top 100. KC Concepcion with those, quarterback running back combination. KC Concepcion from A&M. Yeah, anytime you go to the Browns, you have to be a little bit concerned. Shador is going to fight for a job with Deshaun Watson. Neither one of those guys may not matter next year because there's a decent chance they'll be looking for a new quarterback next year. We'll see what Shador does this year. I don't see Deshaun getting a deal after this year, though, so Shador, maybe he takes a step forward. It could certainly happen in year 2. I didn't think Shador is as bad as everyone acts. He just takes too many sacks. Like, he just takes way too many sacks. So they got Taylon Green, who can get away from sacks, the quarterback from Arkansas who can really run, who looks just like Vince Young. Like, he's almost a Vince Young clone in some ways. Denzel Boston plays outside. KC Concepcion is going to play from the slot. Denzel getting drafted is no big deal. I mean, they could be your 2 starting wide receivers for years to come. So I wouldn't worry about that for KC Concepcion at all. And I was a big KC Concepcion fan. I was hoping my guy Steve Smith would like him, but Steve thought he was like a 2nd round type player.
Really? Man, it was sad to see Diego Pavia. Did you see the party he had and undrafted?
No, I didn't. But I wish the Pavia family would have reached out to me so I could have told them, hey, man, y'all better not have a party.
The prospects, and we've seen it more often now because normally you only see the guy grabbing a hat. Now or putting a hat on. Now you see he's got you say, how is he prepared? Well, they've got a table full of all the hats the NFL teams. They pick one once they're drafted. I saw an edit of Diego Pavia's draft party, and all the hats, instead of having NFL teams on it, had Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's.
Oh, no.
It was not even like.
Not funny.
No. Well, it's funny, but it's not nice.
That's nothing. That's not funny.
I mean,
like that.
You couldn't even put on some business. I don't know. Put on Hewlett Packard or it was just all fast food places. They couldn't even throw on an actual. I don't know, where you might go after you graduate when football isn't your option. Hey, he's going to go work in fast food after a degree from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt can't be happy about that.
No.
Like, wait a minute.
Well,
That's what you get out of coming to Vanderbilt. You immediately go to working at Taco Bell. That's a job for
did all of his grades transfer.
Yeah, I don't know how the JC, New Mexico State, Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt is a higher level institution.
Yeah, it is. They don't
don't
own Taco Bell.
They don't normally promote their graduates as going like Taco Bell. You work your way through college. You work your way until you get to a point where you don't have to work there anymore. You don't normally have Vanderbilt grads winding up at Taco Bell.
Nope. Hey, I want you to wind up in our golf tournament. It's Wednesday, and you still got time today to sign up. Go to ESPN975.com. You can get a discount too. Just put in the discount. I don't know. And play with us on Wednesday. It's going to be fun. We're going to be at Sterling Bank. We got Brown Bag Deli. We got Valencia's. We got Coors Lights. It's always a fun time had by all, and Kids Meals is the beneficiary. So if you can get away, get you an individual or a team sign up. If you're an individual, fine, come. We'll find a place for you there. Or if you've got a team, come on, let's go. ESPN975.com. We want to fill that thing up, and we want to make sure that the Kids Meals gets as much as they possibly can. So let's go. 713-780-3776 is the number to get in here with us. If you got anything you want to talk about draft-wise, we haven't even mentioned the Astros. We'll get to that on the other side. But right now we've got Ownwell. We're talking about Ownwell. We're talking about your taxes. My taxes, I did it for years, and I did it myself, and it was a mistake. I wish I had Ownwell at the time. I wish I knew about Ownwell at the time. And you know what? You do know about Ownwell because we've been talking about this for a while. May 15th is coming up. It is not far away. And you think, well, I got time. I used to do that, throw it in the drawer and just leave it in there. And then by the time it came, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Do it now. Just go to ownwell.com, sign up in 3 minutes. It's so fast. It's so easy. The numbers are ridiculous. How much better Ownwell is than the competition. How much better Ownwell is than the government. How many times they win in Montgomery County. Houses 250,000 to 500,000 range. The Ownwell achieved a 94% success rate versus the market's 81% success rate. That's how good Ownwell is, okay? They doubled their money in Brazoria County on houses $500,000 to $750,000 range, more than 2 times what they saved by using other firms. I mean, it's one after another. Harris County delivered net saving 21 to 51% higher than the competitors. It is time and time again. And not only that, but you got to look at how much the percentage that each of these companies is charging. You'll love the way Ownwell is doing it. Don't wait the deadline to protest May 15th for most counties. Save money on your property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes at ownwell.com. That's ownwell.com. Let them know I sent you when you complete your sign up at ownwell.com.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5. Did you see James Gladstone's, I'm going to send it to you, the general manager of the Jaguars, his explanation on drafting Borkature at 56?
What about him?
I mean, it's you want to talk about word salad. Holy crap. He's going viral. Borkature was a reach, right?
Who, James Gladstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a different cat now.
Yeah.
James is different.
I mean, and did you see the two teenagers that are the assistants for the Rams?
No. What kind of assistants? You know the Rams have the Rams, Jaguars, and Lions have like a – they have scouting reports. It's basically like a tweet. Like you can only have 16, 20 words. I think it's a 16-word scouting report. James Gladstone told Alec that when we were at the O-line Masterminds. I met James Gladstone and Alec, got a chance to meet him, and he talked about the fact that it came from the Rams building. They do 16-word scouting reports. That is insane. And Gladstone told me, he goes, it's basically a tweet. Just use words. Just don't. We don't need long. Just say, elusive, explosive. And so it started with Les Snead and Sean McVay, and then Brad Holmes brought it over to the Lions, and now James Gladstone, who came from the Rams, he brought it over to Jacksonville. So, yeah. So the idea that the Rams have. So tell me about these young. What's the deal with these young?
They look like. I mean, they're being. I've gone viral. It's John McKay, and I don't know who the girl. She's the female is in charge of. I don't know what she's in charge of, but they're
I
all
don't
like
take no orders from no woman, by the way.
Teenagers are running the Rams front office.
Oh, they just look young?
Oh my God! Honestly, they look like they're in high school. Both of them.
Well, you might as well lean into it. They hired wasn't Sean McVay the youngest head coach ever?
Yeah.
And that has worked out. So, hey, they're not afraid of hiring youth.
And McVay, McKay is obviously a football name. I wonder if he's like a great-grandson of John McKay.
Could very well be. That's how the NFL works.
Yep, that is. That is how the NFL works. Anyway, so that was kind of, it's like, oh my gosh, they really are hiring young. I mean, they just don't care about how old you are.
So he's been there for 10 years, but he just recently became their assistant GM.
He's been there 10 years? He started in 7th grade?
Possibly. I don't know when they decided to bring him on. I don't know how child labor laws work with the Rams.
Right.
But, yeah, he was a seasonal intern in the NFL multiple times. He's out of USC, another McKay, point, because the coach wasn't John McKay the coach of USC at one point?
Uh-huh.
So there's another. He probably is one of those McKays, considering all the connections. And now he's been with the Rams since 2016 as a scouting assistant. He's worked his way up. So there's some hard work there and possibly some nepotism.
Possibly
because of the football name. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. The woman in question, Nicole Blake, looks like someone I saw at Warped Tour. Like 15 years ago. She looks like she'd be.
Hold on,
she
let me
looks like she'd
Google
be in the
this.
front row of Warped Tour.
Warped Tour. I have to
look
Google
at her
this now.
She looks. I mean, she's not completely in Warped Tour attire, but if you looked
Wow,
at her,
holy
you'd be like,
crap!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
looking at this picture.
I mean, McKay's got some, maybe some thinning, so you could tell there's some age there, but.
But he's young
But
looking,
Nicole
though.
Blake,
yeah,
I'm telling
honestly.
you, she looked like some woman who was at that point, a girl who was at a show I was at like in 2012.
The Vans Tour?
Yes, Vans Warped Tour. But
the
instead,
Vans Warped Tour, yeah.
She looks like that. But hey, I don't know. Maybe she's like 27,
Multiple
28.
fans have posted teenagers holding a press conference for the Rams. She does. She looks like, honestly, she's in college at best.
She looks like she should be out there doing a podcast.
And she's the director of scouting.
Daddy or whatever.
She's the director of scouting.
How old is Nicole Blake? Now I got
a
mission.
What do you think about, Lance, that the Texans ranking the most reaches? San Francisco 1, the Rams 2, and the Texans 3rd most reaches. Did you feel like they reached that much?
Yeah, I did. With certain, not in the first pick, not the second pick. I didn't think Kamari Ramsey was a reach at all. Wade Woodaz was not a reach. So
Well, then they didn't
no.
reach.
Based on where I thought they would go, yeah. Based on where I thought they would go, actually they weren't reach. I don't love the players personally. Some of them I like a lot, and some of them are okay. Like Woodaz, he's okay. Kamari Ramsey, that's pretty good value where they got him. I like the first two. So, yeah, you're right, because my reaches are where my round projections are based on league intel I got. Now, Aiden Fisher, and that's not even a reach in the seventh. You know, now that I think about it, Lewis Bond I didn't think would get drafted, but Aiden Fisher I had a seventh-round projection on. That's where he went. So, no, I guess now Marlon Klein was a reach for me, but all the tight ends in the second were. That was clearly a league thing where they said we got to get tight ends, and if there's going to be a run, then we're going to – this isn't a deep draft, so we have no problems pushing our tight end grades
Here's
up.
the thing about this list. Okay, so it's draft capital over expectation. Expected capital to be used on player versus actual use. Here's the
Nick
the
is
best.
not going to like this article.
The least reach team was Washington, and then it was Carolina, and then the Colts, the Bengals, the Jets, the Giants. It's all teams that actually drafted high.
So. Yeah,
they drafted high, and their expectations for the players were high.
Yeah. So, and what is that based on? So it's based on a quote unquote consensus board.
Yeah.
And there's a huge argument. I don't know if you caught any of it yesterday about consensus boards. And consensus boards are built out of Draft Media, Draft Twitter. I'm part of Draft Media. My stuff is heavily used for consensus because I write over 400 players, and I have round projections that I give on all of those. Dane Brugler does that. Daniel Jeremiah does it up to 100, does his top 150. And there are other sites that will do it too. And so there are some people who gather all of us together and create, what would be considered a consensus board, which I think is pretty cool. Right? You get an idea. The general fan can get an idea of what the expectations are. The more you put in there, if you get some quality output, then you kind of come to a consensus of, okay, this is where the general expectation of these players, to go. And so I think it's cool. Now, the big problem with this argument that the league is certain teams are straying from the consensus board is, and some people really have a hard time with this, and I think there are some people fighting on Twitter because they don't want to feel like that they need to be more important than they are. Listen, teams don't care what I think. Teams don't, most of them don't. They may care what I think about where a player is going to go, and I did have somebody reach out about some specific players, like what rounds, because they're trying to figure out the consensus. Maybe helps them figure out where other teams, like where players are going to go. That's the value of a consensus board as it pertains to when you want to draft certain guys, or do you need to trade up, or things like that. But as it pertains to how you value a team, my board. My players, I'm writing up players with 32 teams in mind, with every scheme in mind. I don't have all the injury information. I don't have all the medical, all the medical. I don't have all the character. I don't have all the football character. Most of us don't have all that insight. So that will shape and alter the way teams will see certain players. They might like a certain type of player, but if he doesn't fit their scheme, where if they run a lot of zone scheme, they want to get players on the move, and you got a big oafish offensive lineman, that guy won't even be on the board. If you got a real, heavy 340, 335-pound nose who can't move, but he eats up he eats up blocks, that's going to appeal to certain teams, and that same player won't be on the board for other teams. Undersized ends. Some teams are going to have physical standards that they don't back off of. So R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma at 241 pounds may not have even been on team's board because he's more of a designated pass rusher, and may not end up being a 3-down edge. So these consensus boards, they don't take into effect that a lot of these teams, their boards are only they may only have a grand total of I heard the Patriots used to have 80 players on the board, something crazy. So, the consensus, this argument that the NFL teams are straying from consensus, A, they have information and intel we don't have, and then B, their boards they're built way differently. Like if I put a player, if I write a player up, I'm just assuming that somebody will draft him that he fits, like he fits into what they do. So I don't have to worry about it. With teams, you automatically,
wait.
John.
Listen to John Lynch ask the question.
Oh, well, this is where he got pissed off.
Yeah, he was asked the question about why they reach so much.
Yeah.
John, your draft board seems to deviate quite a bit from the consensus. Why are you confident with that, given your track record drafting the last few years? It seems like it leads to you making reaches.
Well, I appreciate that you think that. Depends whose consensus. We got consensus in this building. That's the that's the consensus I care about.
I think that was one of the coolest things with this draft, just so you don't reach on somebody. Like, if there's somebody you're going to take at that spot, and your consensus or all your homework from around the league, not necessarily like Twitter or media stuff, just like things you investigate on when people are going to go. And if you know you're going to take someone you think's the best player, but you don't think they're going to go until like 15 picks later, 20 picks later, it's always a huge risk because you never find out when they're going to go if you take them there. The times that we did feel that way, like at 27, like at 30, and you're able to move back and create stuff later. I forget what it was, but we got a 6th-round pick for next year, and we don't have a 6th-round pick for next year. And we were able to still get our guy. I forget what we moved back to, whatever that was. But the guy we would have taken, we got 15 picks later, and you pick up a 6 for next year where we had a hole. Or the guy we would have taken at 7, you moved to 30, and to move to 33. And so all that stuff was really cool to get the guys that you want, but also find a way to get 8 players when you only had 6 bullets, and also gain a draft pick for next year, which sometimes you trade before the trade deadline, like I think we have in the last couple of years. So it was just, and to get these guys that we had, it was really neat.
Okay, that was a lot of stuff that Kyle Shanahan was saying there. A lot of stuff. I liked John Lynch's answer better. I liked his answer better. The only consensus I care about is this building. We got a break. We are behind. 713-780-3776. We got less than an hour left, so anything you want to get in and talk about? Oh, we forgot to talk about the Astros, didn't we?
Did we?
I think
we got to get back to the Rockets.
Everybody's forgetting to talk about the Astros.
I don't know if "forgot" is the word I'd use.
We've avoided it until now.
Yeah, mention
there
the
it
Rockets.
is.
We got to get back on the
There it
Rockets
is,
a little
John.
bit too.
The word is avoided.
Avoided.
We didn't forget.
Yeah.
What do you want? Look,
forgot in our avoidance.
Once that LeBron shot went in, the rest of the series is just an epilogue.
Yeah.
Like the story is over.
Can you imagine if they had won that game? They'd be sitting there 2-2, and we'd be like, "See, now you got to do is win 2 of the next 3. You're just gonna have to win 1 in LA. That's all you got to do."
Yep. All right, we got a break. 713-780-3776. Welcome back. James Gladstone is catching it. James Gladstone believes he nailed every draft spot, every draft pick. And he said, we nailed 11 out of 11, even though they took 10 or something. I don't know. We were able to nail 10 of those 11, and we only made 10 selections. Okay. What? Now what now? So, anyway. Who did the best, in your opinion, Lance?
I thought the Browns had a good draft. I thought the Dolphins did a pretty good job. Dolphins, Proctor I thought was a reach, but he also may end up being a really good player. I think if they play him at guard, you may have something. Del, what are they saying? Where are they going to play him?
Typical GM stuff, cagey, not Casero does the same thing. We're not going to tell you.
Put the best 5 out there.
They didn't go with that cliche. It's just, hey, we love him. He's a freak. Not many guys like him as far as his size, athletic ability, but no really pin down of what he's going to play, because that would inform someone on the roster that their job is gone. So he did what he was supposed to. Don't give anything away, but just love up on the player.
So Chris Johnson from San Diego State we talked about it, but they got Jacob Rodriguez from Tech. Will Kazmarek is
Kyle Lewis I like.
Yeah, Kyle Lewis falling to the
why did Kyle Lewis fall so
well? Because he's
Tweener,
220 pounds. He's super light. You can run at him, but, to me, I think that as long as you have a plan for him and you know how you want to use him, like even if he's a third down linebacker, there's value there for him because he can rush, he can cover man-to-man, and he's got great ball skills. He's got good speed. He feels much faster than 4.5, 340. And he's the most fluid linebacker I think I've ever seen in a workout drill. Like when he did his field workouts at his pro day, it was insane. No, at the combine. It was insane. I've never seen a guy move like that at linebacker, ever. But he's the size of a kind of a puffed-up, strong safety. So that's probably why he fell. Trey Moore is kind of a tweener from Texas. He came over from UTSA where he was, if you go look at his stats, his college stats, Trey Moore, they're insane. Texas brought him over in the portal, and he's just a good football player. He's just a little undersized on the edge. He doesn't have a ton of burst as a rusher, so you kind of wonder, is he going to be able to rush effectively in the NFL? But he's got a lot of moves. He's got good hands. He's got a deep bag of different rush tricks. And then they played him later in the year. They played him an off-ball linebacker. So kind of, I talked to one team that said, they had him on the board as an edge. Another team had him on the board as a linebacker. So, you got a player in the 4th round who I just think is a good football player. They just got some smart players. The Jets had a good draft early. I thought they struggled a little bit, although I like the Nez Cooper in the 6th round. And actually, I like V.J. Payne in the 7th. I think they have 2 players who are going to make their roster in the 6th and 7th round. Steelers, I thought, had a lot of reaches. The Browns did a pretty good job. I thought the Browns did a good job. Bengals are rock solid. I mean, Cassius Howell, Takario Davis in the 3rd. I didn't think they reached at all. Connor Lewin the 4th. Brian Parker, a good pickup in the 6th. Jack Andrews from Texas in the 7th was a steal. So Bengals to me had a really good draft. Raiders were decent.
So Mel, just to let's see what you think of Mel's. He had the Browns with an A. He had the Cowboys with an A.
Yeah, Cowboys are pretty
Raiders
good.
A.
Oh, John, you don't know this. You're not aware of this. And I sent them this because I decided to be the butt of the joke. So I sent them. I said,
"No,
hey,
you had your hat."
Yeah. Well, Dustin sent a tweet out, and I sent that to my producer on day 1 of the draft, and Drew Christensen turned it around really quickly and put it on the air. And I'm like, oh, no, not this thing again. And he must have showed it like 3 times, and then they showed it again on day 2 and then again on day 3. Like the Cowboys are, what do you think they're going to do here, Lance? And then they put on the board all of a sudden on our video screen, I see a picture of me in that dumb Cowboys hat that's a fitted cap that's way too small for my head. And Bucky said, man, I'll never forget. You reached for that Cowboys hat right before we came on the air, and you put it on your head and realized, oh, my God, it's too late for me to go back and change my pick. He said, you should have just held it up. He goes, LZ, you should have just held it up in front of the camera. Should have never put it on your head. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Well, no, but no one should ever put that hat on their head. That's as far as I'm concerned.
No, that's
dumbass organization.
That's true.
So
Cowboys had a good draft.
They had a good draft. He's got the Jets with an A. He's got the Eagles with an A. He's got the Jets with an A minus. He's got the Ravens B plus.
Ooh, I like the Lions okay too. Now that I look at it, and I like some of the things the Bears did too. They got Malik Muhammad from Texas in the 4th. I love Sam Roush in the 3rd. Logan Jones in the 2nd is early for me, but he's also going to be a long-time starter. Yeah, the Lions had a pretty good draft. Blake Miller, Derek Moore, Jimmy Rolder, Keith Abney. Their top 4 picks in rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5 are all guys that got drafted beyond where I had them.
So, but how many of these? Because it is a weak draft. How many 3rd rounders, 4th rounders are going to be around?
And that's a problem. So I told you earlier in the show that one NFC team had a total of 34 grades that were 1st or 2nd round out of 64 players going. Now, keep in mind, some of those players in 64 they wouldn't even have on their board, but only 34, which means, in their opinion, you have to have guys who are not even, 2nd-round picks being drafted in the 2nd. And so the variance in teams are widely very I talked to teams that had a 4th-round grade on Colton Hood from Tennessee, who's a cornerback who went to the Giants, and that's just one example. It's crazy when you talk to people who work for a team. Their grades are so different for certain players than they give a grade for what they are for their team. And they don't care about the outside noise or consensus. They're like, no, this guy has this kind of grade. We think he's this kind of player. And they don't care where somebody you and I know real well, John, some of the players that he was talking about this year in the draft, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, just killing them. And so, of course, players drafted in the 3rd round this year's draft are probably years ago. Like there was 63 underclassmen this year. Before NIL, the last year before NIL, there was 130. You're taking, and let's just say the 70, is almost a 67 player difference, right? So let's say, all right, out of the 67, let's say only 50 of them were draftable and priority free agents. That's still a chunk.
Yep.
I mean, that's almost, that's a round and a half of more than a round and a half of players that you're completely eliminating that you used to have. So just imagine the damage it does to a draft.
Well, it'll catch you. I know now, there's a lot of the NIL guys, but they'll eventually get into the draft. I mean,
yeah, but there's never going to be the combination of underclassmen. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Those 3-year players, everyone says, they'll eventually get in the draft. But what people miss out on is you don't have the underclassmen populating. You still are going to have the same issue.
Right. But you're going to have players that maybe shouldn't have been there, that are going to stay in college an extra year, maybe be better. Maybe they won't do it, but maybe get the draft down to 5 rounds because you are going to have just, like the NBA said, you know what, we're just doing 2 now. We're just doing 2
Agents would love a 5-round draft because then they just get to start placing their guys.
The other thing that came from it, just how many players played in the Power 4 that got drafted because of NIL and transfer portal. You don't see a lot of guys from non-Power 4 schools getting drafted because the good ones just go to the Power 4. If I'm looking at this correctly, if I throw in, because they have a tracker by conference and then, of course, by independent and FCS, if you throw out Notre Dame, which qualifies as an independent, 6 of the independents came from Notre Dame. It's around 18 players from non-Power 4 schools got drafted this year.
That's low.
Yeah, just because if you're good enough, you're playing at the Power 4. So you didn't see it I think there was one non-Power 4 guy getting drafted in the 1st round, Chris Johnson, I think from San Diego State, right?
Yeah, and he was offered a bunch of money and turned it down because he wanted to stay there. So he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's not that he was offered money, and these schools are doing a pretty good job of locating, the players in other schools. They're scouting pretty well. They're finding the guys who can play a little bit. Yeah, the days of the FCS player. If you're a good FCS player,
Yeah.
Bryce Lance got drafted, but he didn't. He fell all the way to the fourth. But yeah, the days of the FCS guys, that's pretty much over. Those guys are going to major schools, and now they're, like Dell said, they're taking non-power fours, and they're pulling them into power four teams.
Right.
Yeah, I believe 19. Yeah, well, now do the math again. 19 non-power 4 / Notre Dame players were drafted.
I wonder how did anybody do how many kids that transferred were drafted?
Well, I mean, you
Is
look
that
at. I'm trying to think even of Miami's roster. Jacoby Thomas transfer, Keontae Scott transfer, Akeem Mesidor been there a long time transfer. So
Carson Beck
transfer. So that's from your national semifinalists. Forget what about Indiana? How many guys on that roster? Fisher, Mendoza, Pons, Cooper, all those guys. I think Surratt might have been. A transfer too from JMU.
Dude, Surratt started at he went to 3 different schools. He kept moving up from the lowest level, like he was at a super low level, and then he went to James Madison, was an upgrade in level for him.
Cooper
and then he went to
was an Indiana guy. Period. He started there, so
he's the only one.
Yeah,
from Indiana.
But the rest of those guys.
Aiden,
Aiden Fisher was a
Nope.
JMU guy
JMU.
too, right?
He was
All those
JMU.
guys.
Fernando was Cal. Both running backs. Kalen Black was JMU.
The majority of guys
Pat Coogan, the center, was at Notre Dame.
Yeah, so if you're talking about the bulk of the two teams the guys who got drafted from the national title game, most of them.
Okay. Yep.
Look at the Aggies. Most of them were homegrown, but Casey Concepcion wasn't. Their first rounder wasn't homegrown.
No. We got a break. We are behind. 713-780-3776. If you got any questions for Lance, you're more than welcome to get in. Or, that was our Astro segment right there. That was our.
Once again, avoided, not forgotten.
We gotta say something about this.
You want to congratulate Eric Getty? Do that right here and go to break.
Gosh, breaking now. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
All right. Welcome back.
John, you'd have been pretty proud of me on Saturday night.
What did you do Saturday night?
Well, that's the end of day 3. So I was on the air for 7 hours and 10 minutes straight, talking about with one bathroom break. And then we only have 10 minutes of commercials per hour, so there's 50 minutes of talk. It was just a tremendous amount of talking. And it's the longest thing I do. It's one of the toughest things I have to do every year is just, well, it's not toughest. It's just, just a battle of endurance. So when it's over, I'm like, whew, done. And I did have one more TV show I did yesterday. But, and I won't be on NFL Network anymore. I'm not. NFL Network officially turns to ESPN on Friday, so that's the last of my NFL Network stuff.
Did they allow you to do a sign-off? Did they give you a tribute video?
Yeah, did you get a video?
No. Bucky Brooks deserves one, though. Bucky Brooks isn't going to either, and he's on path to the draft. Like, Bucky deserves it.
Your best moments?
They should have. They just put that dumb cowboy hat on me again. So
well, it's not.
And that was happened on the digital side.
It's not a cowboy hat for everyone who doesn't know. It's a Dallas cowboy hat. He didn't get a cowboy hat put on.
Yeah, but that wasn't even on NFL Network. That was on the digital side. And that was in 2017. But anyway, so after I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have some drinks. I haven't had a drink the whole time. So I dug up, I was staying in Marina Del Rey, so I was looking at cocktail bars. And
did you go to my bar in Santa Monica?
I did not go to your gay sports bar. No, I went to someplace else.
Is it a gay sports bar or a sports bar owned by gay people?
No, it's a gay sports bar.
Oh, okay.
It's a gay sports
bar. Yeah, no, John was pretty specific on that.
Clearly.
What?
It was very obviously.
What was the clearest indication?
Flags?
There were no women in there?
Well, yeah, but generally.
Oh, it was clear.
I'm not questioning
Have you been to one of our listener parties, John?
I mean, Nick's place would be a gay sports bar if we go by that. If we go by that guidelines.
No, even
of those
Nick
guidelines.
Had some women in there.
Very few. But what was the clearest indication besides the no women?
Kissing each other?
Oh, there it is.
Other than that,
all right, there it
okay.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that information beforehand. Now I'm clear.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. That straightened that out.
The dress. I mean, immediately the dress. How
the bartenders were dressed.
How everybody was dressed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wears sleeves anymore on Santa Monica Boulevard.
I don't know. They're all Pat McAfee.
I will say, guys in L.A.
like him.
If you see 40, 50, 60-year-old men, they're a lot more hip in L.A. Like, they're dressed. A lot of them are pretty well dressed. Like, it's, their hair is like, there is a kind of a cool guy vibe in L.A. And everybody's, it feels healthier. Like, it's just, it's different. There's a little different vibe depending on where you are.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
There's a lot more beautiful people there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is true. But so anyway, I go to this bar called Grain. It's called Grain, and it's a whiskey bar. It's in the back of this restaurant, and great cocktail menu. And I start talking to the bartender. She was, so what brings you in here? Because I'm just by myself. And then, what do you want to drink? I said, I'm just dealer's choice. You just make whatever you think I want. And I said, I just gave her an idea, some stuff I drink. She goes, all right. I said, I roll with any spirit, so it's not a problem. I just want it balanced. I don't want it too boozy and don't want it sweet. All right. So she made something. She had some drink that she made, and then it was all right. Then I had her make another one. She made something else, but she didn't like it that much. She was trying to invent something, and she didn't love it, so she made me another drink and just gave it to me it was from the regular menu they have, and it was really interesting. Then she had me, I looked at something, and then she introduced me to the guy who created all these drinks, the mad scientist, because there was some crazy, they've got Texas brisket on there, which is a drink. They have hamburger. It's salt and pepper, it's salt and pepper gin. So the guy said, I put salt, I put pepper, and I put onions in a gin, let it sit for like 3 days. And then that's what gives it the heat. It tastes like a quarter pounder. No joke. He got tomato. Somehow he created tomato, mustard. They use caramelized onions to create the onion part of it. I have never had a drink ever. It was bananas how. And then I just showed this guy. He wasn't even working behind a bar. He created a beverage program, but he was just in there having drinks. And I showed him a picture of something I had in New York that was one of the coolest cocktails I ever had. We just took a picture of what the ingredients were in it. He got all geeked out and excited, like, I'm gonna try to make this myself. There's no recipe. He just starts mad scientist. He goes mad scientist and makes it, and it's all, he didn't have the coffee. It requires a coffee in it. He didn't have that, but the rest, it was like perfect. He did it. Well, before you know it, and then this girl kept pouring me like little tastes of other drinks she was making for people. They had something called banana pudding, a drink, but it got to the point where I'm like, I'm glad I took the Uber here because this is This is a.
You let a strange woman get you drunk?
Yeah. And she kept making you drink after drink.
I wasn't roofied, but I was a little. I was a little
Did
tipsy.
you tell her
on that
right
one.
off the bat, "Hey, I'm married"? Slow down.
Yeah, I did. I did say something about me and the wife going to New York in a cocktail bar.
What are the guidelines there for you two? Or I mean, are they unwritten rules in that regard? Like, all right, I'm out. My wife knows I'm out. Do you have to throw in a casual? Yeah, I mean, I love to bring my wife.
Get me drunk.
I love to bring my wife here. Do you have to throw in one of those just so, hey, honey, I told her when you tell the story about, hey, this woman was giving me drinks.
I don't think the 30-year-old bartender's going after me, so I don't think I
it's
really
not
did
about
anything.
you per se, or even the 30-year-old bartender. But if you tell the story about this woman keeps feeding you drinks, do you have to, when you're relaying it to your wife?
Well, because she's a bartender. That's her job to keep feeding me drinks.
I just didn't know.
I mean, had it just been some girl sitting next to me at the bar, the wife would have said, "Now what?"
Listen,
now?
I tell my wife, listen. This girl kept talking to me, and she says, "Well, she was your waitress." Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow down, John.
If I tell my wife,
I like it made immediately known. Okay. Hey, I'm married. Okay. You're not getting anywhere with me.
Look, ma'am. What would I would like to bring my wife here, just as casual mention, so you let your wife know. I swear I mentioned you immediately. Someone's asking, did you interlock hands with the bartender, Lance?
No, I did not do.
You did not
the
interlock
Rossini
hands?
Vrabel handshake, like, "Hey, nice to meet you." We never did that. I did notice though. Yeah, no, never mind. So, what was I going to say? Sometimes I tell my wife, like if I tell my wife, yeah, I don't know, she was looking at me some kind of way. Go for it.
Yeah.
Good for you. Go for
It's
it.
gotta
Good luck.
Look,
well, she's basically taunting me like, yeah, right.
The dynamic is different because this is the woman you've married, but you never want to hear from someone. Yeah, this girl is interested in me, and the woman you may be interested in is like, cool, that's awesome. Hey, shouldn't you be a little threatened? A little.
Yeah. She's like, cool. Tell her about all your kids. Good luck.
That's terrible.
She gets all the kids too.
Did you
wow.
see this?
Wait a minute. I'm not giving you a way out of this.
Did you see this Caden Wetchen?
Yeah.
The wide receiver
Well,
from
what do you mean?
Iowa?
Did I see him? I saw his 10 touchdowns from returns in college.
Well,
I
he
saw
got
that.
drafted. He was on the golf course with his boys. He was playing around, and they
Oh,
called,
good for him.
Yeah, and they called him, and he's on. And I'm like, we gotta wait for you. Okay.
Oh, you're upset that he had to take the call.
Yeah. What if I'm behind that group?
But how long is he on the phone with the GM?
I don't know. He was on long
With the
enough
Steelers.
to slow down the round.
So he goes from wearing an Iowa
Not
uniform
much.
to a Steelers uniform.
Hey,
does he even
you
have
guys
to?
just. Yeah, you can putt. You can putt. Go ahead. Finish
Does he
out,
even
finish
have to
out.
change
I like
any
that
of the
though.
things?
He was like, I don't give a rat's ass. I'm gonna play golf today.
Well,
why
he's
would
just
you
a white
hang
punt
around? I
returner.
see them hanging around. Like I know you got a draft party. That's a bad way to spend a Friday or Saturday.
White punt returner from Iowa who started off at Iowa Western
Of course
and then went
he's
to
on
Iowa.
the course.
That guy is not going to have a draft party.
No, but even
No.
even the thought of a draft party seems like a waste of time. Like you really want to just hang around and wait?
Yeah.
And
And
I
everybody
wouldn't want to do
waiting
that.
on- and you're like,
you're the
Dude,
life. You're the subject
You
of
mean
this
like
party.
the Nussmeier draft party?
Exactly. Why do you want to be a part of that?
7th round. He's the new Quinn Ewers.
You have to come
Nussmeier
back
went in the
for
7th.
Look, Nuss knew
And
he
everyone kept going to his party every day. What are y'all doing?
Like Nuss knew he wasn't going on Thursday, but so you
he
gotta
thought there was a chance Friday.
So you gotta
thought there
come
was a
back
chance.
for the party on Saturday once you wait
Oh,
around
that's
all
a
day on
tough one.
Friday.
He probably
All
goes
night?
early 4th, guys. So you need to be there. You probably don't have to stay longer than the 4th round. And then it's like,
7th.
at that point, you can't leave. Now you're in. If you're there, it'll look bad if you leave.
No, Jason, the bartender didn't sit on Lance's bed and try to sell him security system.
Stop it, guys.
hey,
Stop it. She wasn't ugly, by the way, but she did try to
She's
sell
a
me
bartender,
drinks,
I
and I did have drinks.
Immediately, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, hey, she's pushing drinks on you.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
Trying to take you home.
What is this?
Yeah.
No, trust me, it's the exact
Maybe
opposite.
she
You're trying
just
to get me out of there.
Hey, maybe just the thought of being with an NFL draft expert.
Did you lead with that?
Well, I mean, I've always
just
felt
finished
like,
up
yeah,
doing
of
the
course
draft?
I led with that. That's my move.
Yeah.
I said, maybe do you recognize me at all? I sat down. I said, you might recognize me.
I don't know
She's
how to
like,
put
You
this,
set it
but
up. Yeah, I'm
kind
an
of a big
NFL draft
deal.
guy. I work for NFL.
She
so
said,
you're-
well, so what brings you in today? She said, you ever been here? No. And she goes, what brings you in? I said, because draft, obviously. Do you not?
And she's like,
You've seen me on Path of the
but
Draft,
think
right?
of the explanation.
Mock Draft Live.
She goes, even if she knows something. Oh, you work for NFL
What
Network?
do you mean?
No,
what
I'm
brings
more
me?
on the digital side, but we're kind of owned by ESPN now, so this is my last day on Path of the Draft. Imagine the explanation he has to go through to kind of explain his job to her.
So listen, if you want to see me now, what I did find out, what I learned this last week, was that you could have watched my entire draft stuff, and really what I'm doing moving forward probably on Amazon Prime and not just YouTube, but also Amazon Prime and Peacock, the NFL channel. I was like, this is awesome that we're on Amazon Prime and Peacock, because this is where everyone watches stuff on streaming anyway. They don't watch cable and satellite channels that much anymore. So I found out that all of our picks were there. But, yeah, I had to tell her, I said, look, I need you to download Peacock, or do you have Peacock? Oh, great. Yeah, listen, you can probably see. Just watch tomorrow. I'm going to give you a shout-out on the show I'm doing, the final patch to the Draft Live. I want to talk about this drink that I had, this cocktail, and I just couldn't work it in. There's just really no way to work it in yesterday, so sorry.
All right, we got a break. We got to talk about Billy Brown now. We got to talk about, I mean, I don't know how often you had to go to the bathroom with all those drinks, but if you got to go to the bathroom and your bathroom ain't working, that ain't no good. That toilet ain't working. What? That is a bad thing to have happen.
Thing.
Well, as a matter of fact, you can be a hero with your family if you've got Billy's number. Boom, 281-488-6238. You just, bam, I'm going to call Billy. Billy Brown. Put Billy Brown or put Aqueduct Plumbing Company or put Plumber or whatever you want to put so that you remember it when you got to have it. Because when you got to have Billy, it ain't like, oh, let me just think about it. No, it's, man, I got a leak. I got to have Billy. Oh, man, I got no hot water. I got to have Billy. Oh, man, my toilet won't flush. I got to have Billy. All of these things, Lance, we've needed them for everything. Just
put
everything.
it under plumber. Just put it under plumber,
Yeah.
and then just lock it in. And now you got a plumber. It's that simple. Like, we really trust Billy because he's fair, he's honest, has good prices. They get out there immediately, get out there quickly, diagnose the problem. They don't charge you anything to come out, and then boom, they get it fixed. It's that simple. It's aqueductplumbingcompany.com, 281-488-6238.
You're listening to John and Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Huntington Bank Studios, here's John Granado and Lance Zierlein.
This is What Did You Miss segment. We missed the Astros losing 2 out of 3. We missed Spencer Arrighetti looking great again, though. Holy crap. We missed, Christian Walker is crushing the ball right now. So is Carlos. Carlos is hitting well. Christian Walker. And nobody in the world is playing better baseball, hitting the ball better than Jordan. Nobody in the world. I mean, it's ridiculous right now how good this guy is and just not getting nearly enough love.
Well, I asked a question to Sean. We talked about it. We were going through Mike Trout's MVP years when the Angels stunk. He won it a couple times when the Angels didn't break 80 wins, like I think 72, and there's another one in the 70 range. How bad would the Astros have to be to keep Jordan from winning an MVP? Like, to rule him out completely out of the mix.
Well, if he's got these numbers, the Astros could win 40 games, and he'd still get it.
Which
with these numbers are...
This is what we're asking. Like, could they, if they are a 100-loss team?
If they're a 100-loss team,
he would win the
still
MVP.
Gets it. Yes.
Which means baseball should just turn into most outstanding player, but that's a different conversation.
Player, yeah. But it's just, I mean, dude, he is number one in every offensive category in the league, in all of baseball. I mean, it's not even it's ridiculous how good he is. So I mean, there's nothing they could do to ruin his chances. There's literally nothing they can do. I mean, he is first in average, first in homers, second in RBI, first in on base, first in slugging, first in OPS, first in WRC plus, first in xWOBA, first in FWAR, first in walks to strikeouts. I mean, it's like nothing we've seen. Forget Shohei's years or Judge's years. Jordan is he is Babe Ruth this year. It's ridiculous how good this guy is. So there's that. We have a sub 2-minute marathon.
Two guys
set sub 2-minute marathon.
I was unaware that this was a push by a couple of apparel brands. Apparently Nike really wanted to get some guys to do it. They did not. Both guys who did it were Adidas sponsored guys, so the shoe wars continue. But yeah, 2 sub 2-hour marathon runners.
That's crazy.
In the same marathon.
Crazy. I mean, that is running, dude. I did 1 half marathon and I did it in under 2. And I almost died.
Yeah.
I almost died.
I imagine if we gave Lance 2 months, he could do it too.
He was twice as fast as I was, and I ran like twice as fast.
Well, you're not trained.
Twice the ton.
Well, that's what he does for his life.
Yeah, I know.
You play golf and drink beer. That's your life.
Well, at that time, I played golf and drank beer.
Yeah, it's
actually.
different.
Yeah.
I don't think those two gentlemen were doing that.
I'm looking at one of the worst scenes of my life. A flatbed truck crashed, and there's millions of crawfish all over the highway. There are people out there with buckets.
What?
Yeah. They traffic stopped, and they're out there with buckets picking up these crawfish so they can go boil them. I mean, they're all over, millions of crawfish all over the highway.
Well, I guess
maybe not
when they're called mud bugs, it doesn't matter if they're on the pavement or asphalt. Yeah, I don't think it matters at that point.
Yeah. I mean, so crazy. What else did we miss today?
As I mentioned during What Have You Learned, there is a Spanish soccer player. Well, he's Argentinian, but he plays for a Spanish second league club. He's a goalkeeper, and he had already picked up a yellow card in the middle. At the very end of the game, he's in a confrontation with the opposing player. He shoves him, and the opposing player, of course, does a soccer fall where he barely gets touched and he falls to the ground. The referee's got his back turned, so he doesn't see it. He only sees the guy fall, so he goes, oh, yellow card, you're out. And the goalkeeper's like, oh, I'm out of this game? You're going to fall to the ground? Let me give you a reason to fall to the ground. So he charges over him and slugs him and knocks him on the ground. Literally. I think his name's Andrade or something. He's an Argentinian goalkeeper. And he just went and clubbed him like a clean shot, knocked the guy on the ground, and then the opposing team jumped on him. The other goalkeeper punched him in the head. It's the end of the season. Nerves are frayed. He goes, look, if you're going to throw me out of this game,
I'm gonna deserve it.
I'm going to find the name and just find it, John. I think his name's Andrade. If you type it in on Twitter, you're going to see it, and you're like, oh, he's about it. He was like, screw you. End of the year, I'm out of here.
That's fine. And you know what? It's the way it should be.
I mean, I don't know if we're promoting violence on the soccer pitch, but yeah, he didn't like the guy flopping, and he goes, now that I'm out of here, I got a real reason to punch you in the face. And then when he went and clubbed him, and it started an all-out brawl for a little bit. Bang! I'm watching it right now. Just
that's fine.
It is fun.
I like that.
I mean, I don't have any reason to care about either of these two teams, Real Zaragoza and the other club. So shout out to Andrade for taking what's yours, and what's his is a punch in that guy's face. That's what I learned over the weekend. Sometimes you got to handle your own.
I'm watching Russell Wilson bat for the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
He's a free agent.
Sure.
I feel like he's got a better chance of playing for the Bananas right now than any NFL team.
Is he
Did
trying
you
to
see how heavy he is?
Oh, he's put on some weight?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's the off season.
It
Early
is,
in the off season.
I know, but don't you have to stay in shape for who you're married to?
Oh, Sierra. I don't know how she feels. Maybe she likes a chunky man. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what she feels like.
I feel like he's heavy for a quarterback, a little bit heavy.
Well, maybe he's no longer a quarterback. Maybe he's a traveling barker for the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah. Wow, we didn't even. How about the correspondence dinner?
Oh yeah, there was.
That was wild.
So I'm not a presidential historian. I don't know the history of the matter, but as far as gunfire near a president, what are we at? Number 3? Is this the third time this has happened?
This is the third time he's had.
Is this a record? Obviously, we've had tragic deaths.
He's
but
setting records now?
I don't want to put it. No, I don't know about that, but we've had, unfortunately, successful assassination attempts.
Yeah.
Is this the third time?
The guy's from the L.A. area, so I'm catching from it.
Yeah, Ben Stiller caught it.
He was Teacher of the Year, the Teacher of the Month in December, where he was, and now he's now he's not going to be Teacher of the Month.
Ben Stiller caught it. Because he's a Knicks fan, and they won in Atlanta to tie the series at 2-2. He goes, got it done. And then all these conservative accounts are like, what did you get done, Ben? Huh? What are you talking about? He's like, I'm a Knicks fan. But they all, multiple went after him. Oh, did you? The president's safe and sound. Did you get it done? I was like, hey.
Wow.
I'm talking basketball.
Oh, my God.
I'm just talking about what my team did in Atlanta.
Oh. I would have thought he'd say, missed again.
No. I mean, yeah, if we're just going by what happened, didn't get it done. He was talking about.
we missed again.
I'm talking about the Knicks beating the Hawks and tying the series 2-2, and just some nutcases went after him about it. But yeah, we did not mention that's crazy.
No, that was a wild. Anything else that we missed from the weekend?
I guess we missed Lance's exit. We did. I know he said he had to leave early.
He said he was going to have to leave early,
but he is done. So Elliot, I'm sorry. Lance
Elliot
isn't here.
can get in here quickly if he wants to. He wants to impart some knowledge about the draft. Hey, Elliot, what's going on? Elliot,
hey, morning, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I was just going to – yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, I was just going to ask Lance why the Steelers would draft Drew Allard when they already have Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. It's pretty much the same guy. Rodgers is 100% coming back. I think he's like 5,300 yards away from Favre, so I'm almost confident he's going to want to pass that, so I'm sure he'll be back. So you're going to have 4 quarterbacks. I didn't understand that Drew Allard pick, so I wanted to see if maybe Lance can give me some hope that he could be at least, a playable quarterback in this league. But.
Well, Lance will have to do that tomorrow, unfortunately, Elliot.
I'm sure he's going to say, oh, he ain't making it.
So Drew Allard, I believe, his whole family are Browns fans. Like, they're from Medina, Ohio, so they grew up as Browns people. So you're glad to get drafted. I'm just not sure that family was thrilled with where he landed. They've just been lifelong Browns fans, so they're going to have to figure it out that now their boy's a Steeler. Yeah, I don't. What's Drew Aller gonna be? Like you said, Elliot, it's Mason Rudolph. It's what did they draft Will Howard too? He's just another one of those guys. He's got better physical tools than both. And at one point, there was a thought he would be a first round pick, but then he continued to be Drew Aller, so he was not a first round pick. So,
I mean, then all of a sudden he was Drew Aller.
Not even all of a sudden. He just continued to be. So perhaps McCarthy can get the best out of Drew Aller. I mean, was Aaron Rodgers fully formed before McCarthy got there? Probably not. So you want to give him some credit for that?
Yeah, but
so
he's a better. I mean, that's
no.
not
I'm saying, but if you want to say he's been
that's
at
not fair.
the hand of developing a young quarterback, he does have some experience, right? So maybe he's got a shot to get the best out of Drew Aller. I wouldn't hold out hope, though.
Yeah, I'm not. No. I mean, Drew Aller. That feels like it was just just take a guy.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals did it with Carson Beck. You do it, and
Yep.
Drew Aller probably doesn't play this year, and then you have to hope that either he develops or you're in a spot to draft someone next year.
Yep. All right, we got a break. We have got news of the week coming your way next, right here on ESPN 97.5. Don't you go anywhere.